The Grape Nuts Flakes program, starring Orson Welles, who is pinch hitting for Jack Benny, with Mary Livingston, Phil Harris, Dennis Day, Rochester, and yours truly, Don Wilson. And now, ladies and gentlemen, once again, we take you to the little drugstore near the NBC building here in Hollywood, where our whole gang always gathers for a bite to eat before the show. The time, exactly 15 minutes before this broadcast. Take it away, drugstore.
All right, Cliff.
Yes, Gilroy.
How's that three-decker sandwich coming along?
Fine. I'm just putting the poop deck on it. Here you are.
Radcliffe, that's a beauty. Well, here comes Don Wilson, and Phil Harris is with him.
That old-time glamour boy. If he pulls any of his Lulus today, I'll smack him right in the kisser with his lemon pie.
Radcliffe, put that down. Hello, Mr. Wilson. Hiya, Phil.
Oh, hello, boys.
What'll it be, Twitch?
Well, I ain't hungry, but give me a donut. I want to practice blowing smoke rings through the hole. Ha, ha, ha! Ain't that a Lulu?
You asked for it, brother.
Radcliffe! Bullseye! Wait a minute. Oh, now who threw this? Who hit me with that pie?
Now, calm down, Phil. Here's my handkerchief. Wipe your face.
As soon as I get this stuff out of my eyes, I'm going to murder somebody.
Duck, Radcliffe. He's plenty mad.
Here I go, under the counter. Whoop, bumped my head.
That's what's wrong with him. He's always bumping his head.
I wonder what happened to Mary. She promised she'd meet us here.
If you're looking for Miss Livingston, she's over there in the phone booth. She got a call a few minutes ago from old man Benny in Phoenix, and she asked me to tell you to be sure and wait for her.
Yes? Yes? Well, how do you feel, Jack? Well, what do you mean you still have your cold, but you've got your strength back? Oh, now you can blow a hole right through the Kleenex. Say, Jack, when will you be back on the show? Next Sunday? Well, you don't have to hurry. Orson Welles has been very funny on the program. I said Orson has been very funny. Oh, Jack, for heaven's sake, stop crying. Of course we'll be glad to see you again. Goodbye. What's that? No, Jack, I won't. I don't care. I won't do it. I will not send your old sailor suit so you can get a cut rate on the train. Goodbye. Oh, hello, Don, Phil.
Hello, Mary.
Hiya, Mary.
Phil, I'm ashamed of you. What's the idea of giving yourself a shampoo here at the counter?
That ain't no shampoo. It's lemon pie. I just walked in and pulled the gag, and that Radcliffe let me have it.
Let you have it?
Yeah, and I said, I ain't hungry, but give me a donut. I want to practice blowing smoke rings through the hole. I love it, love it, love it.
Radcliffe!
Now cut that out!
Here's my handkerchief again, Phil. Oh, by the way, Mary, what did Jack have to say?
Oh, he feels fine now. He'll be back on the program next week.
Well, I'll be glad to see the old boy, but I'm sure going to miss Orson. You know, him and me was getting to be cultural buddies.
What do you mean? What do you mean, Phil? Cultural buddies?
Well, one night we go to an opera, and he explains the Barber of Seville to me. And then the next night we go to a burlesque show, and I wise him up on Betty rolling that ball of fire.
What?
Well, we got sort of a lend-lease on brains agreement, kind of.
Oh, comb the pie out of your hair. Hello, Dennis.
Hello, Miss Livingston.
You know what, Dennis? Jack will be back on the show next week.
Jack who?
Jack and the Beanstalk.
Who?
Jack and the Beanstalk.
That'll be a novelty, if nothing else.
Oh, quiet.
Well, look who's coming in. It's Miss Harrington, Orson's secretary.
Oh, hello, Miss Harrington.
Hello, Mr. Wilson. Good afternoon, everybody.
Hiya, Muscles.
Oh, young man, will you please take an order?
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Wells will be here shortly for a malted milk with an egg in it. And the egg must be absolutely fresh.
Yes, ma'am. Oh, Radcliffe,
Yes, Gilroy.
one fresh egg.
One fresh egg coming up. Get busy, Gwendolyn. Give out.
beautiful egg. Attention, everybody. Mr. Wells is approaching.
Good afternoon. This is Orson Welles. Well, Mary, what do you hear from Jack? Have you talked to him lately?
Yeah, I just had him on the phone. Jack's feeling fine now and says he's back on the show next week.
Well,
Looks like you'll have to hit the road, Bub.
Dennis. Naturally, now that Jack feels better, he should resume his rightful position. As for myself, I shall fold my tent like an Arab and silently steal away.
When you put it that way, Orson, I could sob.
Thank you, Phil. Thank you. Oh, Miss Harrington, did you order me a malted milk with an egg in it?
Yes, Mr. Wells.
And are you sure the egg was absolutely fresh?
Yes. I was here for the unveiling.
Excellent.
Oh, Orson, I'm afraid you won't have time for that malted milk. We're due on the air in just a couple of minutes.
Very well, I shall have it delivered to me, old boy.
Yes, Mr. Wells?
I want this malted milk delivered to Studio B as soon as possible.
We'll bring it right over, Mr. Wells.
Hey, wait a minute, Gil. We ain't no carrier pigeons.
Get back under that counter.
Yes, Mr. Wells.
That's not an egg, Gwendolyn. That's his head. That's his head. Gwendolyn, control yourself.
Hurry up, Orson. We'll be late for the show.
Follow me, everybody. Last one in the studio is an old tomato. That was taking a chance on love, as who doesn't? Phil Harris was standing in front of the orchestra, and Phil, that's the last time I'll be announcing your band number. Just think, after tonight's broadcast, I shall fold my tent like an Arab and silently steal away.
Don't say that, Orson. Look, tears is tinkling down my cheek.
That's trickling, Phil. Your eyes are absolutely dry.
Well, you gotta admit they're bloodshot.
That's another story. Seriously, I'm going to miss all of you, and if I ever get my own program, I'd like this gang to sign up with me.
Well, you mean you'd like to have us work for you?
Yes, of course, I don't know if I could meet the salaries that Jack's been paying you.
They're really lousy. Why do you want to meet them?
Very good, Mary. Incidentally, before I forget it, I'd like to have all of your phone numbers.
Okay, here's mine.
Here's mine, Wellesley.
Here's my number, too.
Thanks, fellows. How about yours, Mary?
I don't know. If I give you my phone number, you're liable to call me up and ask me for a date.
Oh, no, Mary. If I call, I assure you it'll be strictly business.
Then you can't have it.
Girls are certainly aggressive nowadays.
You're telling me I went up to Alice Faye at a preview one night and asked her for her autograph, and the next thing I know, I'm married to her.
Astounding.
Women are sure hard to figure out, eh, Wellesley?
Yes, Phil, but it's delightful research. And now, ladies and gentlemen, this evening for our feature attraction, OWP will present...
OWP? What's that?
Orson Welles Productions, Mary. I was trying to be modest.
Some try.
Dennis.
Whoops, he bumped my head.
Next time it'll be harder. As I was saying, for our feature attraction this evening... Go away, Dennis. Orson Welles Productions will present a dramatic thunderbolt which we trust will thrill and delight you.
Well, I hope it's something Shakespearean, like the Taming of the Stew.
The Shrew. No, Phil, it isn't the Taming of the Shrew.
Well, is it Hamlet?
No, it isn't, Mary.
Is it The Merchant of Venice?
No, Don, as a matter of fact, it isn't Shakespearean at all. Tonight, ladies and gentlemen, we will present our own version of Little Red Riding Hood. Isn't that delightful?
Little Red Riding Hood. Ain't that kind of juvenile for you and me, Orson?
Perhaps, Phil, but I think the kiddies who are listening in are deserving of a playlet especially for them. Now I will play the part of Old Man Hood, an elderly farmer who lives at the edge of a forest. Mary will be my daughter, Red, and Dennis will be my son, Robin. Robin Hood. Are you giggling, kiddies?
If they are, they got feathers in their rompers.
Now, let's see. Don and Phil. Oh, yes. Don will be a tree in the woods, which only God can make, and Phil Harris will be a woodchuck.
Phil Harris will be a wood chopper who cuts Wilson down.
I'll take it easy, Phil. You know how ticklish I am.
No kidding, Don. Are you really?
Oh, didn't you know that, Mr. Harris? Watch this.
Stop it, Dennis. He'll get hysterical.
No, I like it.
Don, we haven't time. Now, there's one other part in the play. That of the old lady who's to be my wife.
Well, maybe I can play a double part, too. How's this, Orson?
Very good, Mariah. The part is yours, by cracky.
Oh, murder. If Lum and Abner are listening in, this does not constitute an endorsement of Rube humor.
We'll do all right. And now, ladies and gentlemen... Oh, my goodness. I forgot the most important part of all, the wolf. I know. I will be the wolf.
In that case, here's my phone number, babyface.
Thanks, Mary.
This play is really crazy. Mary is her mother and her daughter. Orson is her father and a wolf. And Wilson is a tree that giggles. I worry about things like that.
Now... Dennis, there's no need for you to tax your mind. What are you going to sing tonight?
A song.
A song. That's fine. And what's the name?
Dennis Day.
The name of the song!
I'm going to sing As Time Goes By, and I dedicate it to a little girl who stole my wristwatch.
Well, that's a short story. Go ahead, Dennis. Make it a Lulu. Second, I'll take it. Hello?
Oh, Mr. Wells, this is Rochester.
Hello, Rochester. What do you want?
I called up to tell you that I'm leaving your employ after 4 weeks of sheer bliss.
Yes, I understand that Mr. Benny is coming back, but Rochester, isn't there any way you can stay and be my butler?
I don't think so. I got a contract with Mr. Bennett that takes me up to and within the pearly gates.
Well, there must be some loophole in the contract. Has your lawyer read it?
Yeah, he just shook his head and said Lincoln wouldn't like this.
Well, I'm sorry you're leaving, Rochester. You've been a splendid butler and very trustworthy. You know, when you came to work for me, there was a brand new bottle of bourbon in my liquor cabinet, and the cork hasn't been out of that bottle.
That's the toughest cork I ever broke a tooth on.
Well, in spite of that, Rochester, I'm certainly sorry that you're leaving me. Goodbye.
Goodbye. Oh, Mr. Wells.
What is it, Rochester?
Just think, tonight I shall fold my tent like an Arab and silently steal away.
That's my material. Yes, I know.
I'm tired of that tent. I'm going to get myself a room. So long, Mr. Wells.
Goodbye, Rochester. That was As Time Goes By, sung by Dennis Day. And Dennis, that really was very, very good.
Thanks, Mr. Wells. It's decent of you to admit it.
What's so decent about that? You have a marvelous voice. There's no getting away from it.
Well, if it's so marvelous, why do you want to get away from it?
I don't want to get away from it. I paid you a compliment, you little brat.
Oh.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, on second thought, Dennis, here's your phone number back. And now, ladies and gentlemen, for our feature attraction, Little Red Riding Hood.
Say, Orson, I just thought of something. Who's going to be the grandmother? You know, that old dame that gets set up by the wolf.
Phil, you're giving away the plot.
Darn it, I had to open my big mouth.
However, Phil, I can't tell you who plays the part of Red Riding Hood's grandmother. That's our big surprise. So here we go with Little Red Riding Hood. The play opens in the farmhouse of old Mr. and Mrs. Riding Hood. It is a cold Christmas Eve long, long ago. And outside, the wintry wind is howling. But inside the farmhouse, the fireplace is burning brightly. We find the elderly couple busy decorating their Christmas tree. Curtains, music.
Well, Ma, that Christmas tree sure is a beauty.
Yeah, it sure is pretty. They're all lit up.
Where's my jug? I'm getting lit up myself tonight. Ain't that a Lulu? Ma,
That pie was for supper.
Well, it's up to your face. Start eating.
Come in.
Hello, Pa. Hello, Ma.
Hello, son.
Are you through with your chores, son?
Yep.
Did you milk the cow?
Sure did. I creamed her, too.
Well, here's your sister. Hello, Red.
Hello, Pa. Hello, Ma. Hello, Annie.
Annie?
That's the cat.
Oh. Say, we were worried about you, Red, out there alone with all those wolves.
Yeah, did any of them come close to you?
How do you think I got this fur coat?
Mighty pretty. That must be Grandma calling. I wonder how her cold is coming along.
I wonder who...
I'm coming. Hello, Grandma. How you feeling?
I feel terrible, son. How are you?
Your cold seems to be getting worse. Say, Grandma, have you been drinking your cough medicine?
Yes, and I'm loaded.
Now, Grandma, behave yourself. I want you to get in bed right away.
Okay, I'll jump in the next time it comes around.
You'd better. Now, I'll send Red over with some hot soup for you.
Good. Have her bring some cigars, too.
All right. Goodbye, Grandma.
Goodbye, son.
Now, Red, take this hot soup over to your grandma's and be careful going through the woods, Red.
Okay. So long, Pa. So long, Ma. Goodbye, Annie, Joe, and Pete.
Joe and Pete.
Annie just had kittens.
And right in my hat.
Look out for the wolves, Red.
Okay. So long, everybody. Oh, boy, what a night. Listen to that wind howl. And listen to that snowfall. Gee, it's fun walking through the snow. Crunch, crunch, crunch. Gosh, it's dark. Who's that I see lurking in yon bush?
It's me, kiddies. I'm a wolf now.
Oh! Hello, little girl.
Hello, are you a wolf?
Here's my button, Hollywood Lodge number 23.
Where are you going, my little chickadee?
I'm going to my grandma's with this basket. It's got soup and crackers in it.
Attention, kiddies. Little Red Riding Hood's basket also contains a package of toasty brown sweet as a nut grape nut flakes.
Well, a talking tree.
Grape nuts flakes are a breakfast treat your whole family's going to enjoy. So remember, children, when you're taking a basket of food to your grandmother's house, include a big 12-ounce economy-sized package of America's fastest-growing flake cereal. What are you howling for, Orson?
I just sat on my wolf pin. Now to get back to Little Red Riding Hood.
Hey, Red, where are you?
She ran away. Ha ha!
This is spoiled again, snarl, snarl. I know what I'll do. I'll beat Little Red Riding Hood back to her grandmother's house. And when I get there, I'll eat her up. Are you shivering, shavers? This must be the place. And now to get in.
Who's there?
It's Little Red Riding Hood.
Gosh, you've got a cold, too. Come in.
Hello, Grandma.
You're not Little Red Riding Hood. You're a wolf.
Yes, I'm a wolf, and I'm going to eat you up. Yum, yum, yum.
Help!
Hold still. It'll be over in a minute.
Shall I take my boots off?
No, I like boots and all. Here you go.
I just ate Grandma, kiddies. Darn those shoes.
That must be Little Red Riding Hood now. I know what I'll do. I'll put on this nightcap and get under the covers. That'll fool her. I'll talk just like Grandma. Come in, Red.
Hello, Grandma. I brought you a basket of food.
Goody, goody. Come over here by the bed, my dear.
Oh, Grandma, what big eyes you have.
All the better to see you with, my dear.
And, oh, Grandma, what long ears you have.
All the better to keep my derby from blowing off, my dear.
And, oh, Grandma, what sharp teeth you have.
All the better to eat you with, my dear.
You're a wolf. Where's my grandma?
I swallowed her in your neck.
Help! Help! Oh, wood chopper! Wood chopper!
I'm coming, baby.
Curses! Boiled again.
Quick! Shoot the wolf! Shoot him! Shoot him!
Shoot him nothing. I'm going to take my axe and chop him right in two. Don't do that. I'm in here.
Thanks, Grandma. You saved my life. Play, Phil.
So, ladies and gentlemen, this is your obedient servant, Orson Welles. It's really been a pleasure pinch hitting for Jack Benny. I'm sure you'll all be glad to welcome back Jack at this same time next Sunday night. Good night, folks.
Good night, Doll.
This program is written by Bill Morrow and Ed Beloy. The Grape Nuts Flakes program.
With Mary Livingston, Phil Harris, Dennis A. Rochester, and yours truly, Don Wilson. And back with us after an absence of 5 weeks, Jack Benny.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, we would like to take you to Jack Benny's home in Beverly Hills, where Jack is convalescing from his recent illness. The time, shortly before noon today. The place, Jack's bedroom. Take it away, Beverly Hills.
Let's see, I got 2 teaspoons of cherry syrup in it. A couple of drops of menthol. Think it needs another dash of gin. Yeah, that's enough. This kind of medicine makes a cold a pleasure. Oh, Mr. Benny. Mr. Benny, wake up.
What is it, Rochester?
What do you want, Rochester? It's time for your cough medicine. I think you'll like it better now. I put more gin in it.
More gin? You mean to say this cough medicine I've been drinking has gin in it?
You couldn't have that silly grin on your face from just plain cough.
What?
You may not believe this, but you've been snoring sweet Adeline.
Well, I might have known you to make my cough medicine wrong. Believe me, from now on, I'll have my prescriptions filled at the drugstore.
Okay, boss, but you'll find very few pharmacists with the imagination I got.
I don't want imagination. I want my medicine right. Now, put my electric heating pad under the covers. My feet are getting chilly.
Electric heating pad? That's the toaster with a towel wrapped around it.
I don't care. Plug it in.
Yes, sir.
Answer the phone.
Hello? Mr. Benny's residence. Boudoir extension. Who? Oh, hello, sugar. How are you? Well, I don't know, honey. I'll have to find out. Oh, Mr. Benny, can I have tonight off? I want to go down to Central Avenue to see my girl.
No, absolutely not.
Looks like you'll have to come out here, honey.
Rochester, you know I'm not feeling well. Why can't you see your girlfriend tomorrow night?
Tomorrow's Monday. I got a date with my Monday girl.
Your Monday girl?
Maybe I could switch my Tuesday girl to Wednesday and make Saturday a doubleheader.
Well, if it's that involved, you don't ever... Whoop! Whoop, pull it out!
Pull out what?
Pull the plug! Pull the plug!
What's the matter, boss?
Pull the plug. My toes are caught in the toaster. Quick, pull it out.
There you are, Mr. Benny.
Ooh, my foot burns. Wow, pour some ice water on it, Rochester.
Hold still, boss.
There, that's better. Oh, hello, Mary.
What's the matter, Jack? Somebody give you a hot foot?
No, I got my toes caught in the toaster.
Your toes caught in the what?
In the toaster. Could happen to anyone.
Oh, sure. Everybody's making toast in bed nowadays. It's all the rage.
I was using it for a heating pad. Oh, but Rochester, what are you doing with that bottle of cough medicine?
I was holding up to the light and some of it ran down my throat.
Well, why were you holding it up to the light?
I told you some of it ran down my throat.
Put that bottle down.
Yes, sir.
How do you feel, Jack? You think you'll be able to make the show today?
I've got to. I can't disappoint my public. Just think, Mary, people have been deprived of hearing my voice for 5 long weeks.
You'd be surprised how fast they went.
Well, I'll admit that Orson Welles did a pretty good job.
Pretty good? He's one of the most polished performers I've ever worked with.
He is, eh?
He has the most beautiful speaking voice I've ever heard.
No, he has, eh?
Gosh, when he says, "Good evening, this is Orson Welles," I get goose pimples all over.
I don't care if you break out in billiard balls. You go back to the line.
Too simple. Anyway, let me tell you something about the guy that gives you such a thrill. I was sick in bed 5 weeks. He didn't even send me a basket of fruit. I finally had to wire him. I mean, the least he could have done, you think, would be
Well, look who's here. Hello, Phil.
Hiya, Mary.
Hello, Phil.
Hiya, Jackson. Boy, you have been sick.
Well, I imagine I am a little pale.
A little pale. You look like you went to the blood bank and forgot to say when.
No, I'm not that bad. She was at the front door, Rochester.
Oh, it can't be my girl yet. She just called.
It might be for me. My house, remember? Now answer the door.
Okay.
Say, Jackson, I got a surprise for you. Alice Faye, now appearing in Hello Frisco, Hello, made a dozen donuts for you with her own little hands.
A dozen donuts, where are they?
Out in the car, I'll get Rochester to help me carry them in.
They're that heavy, Phil. Leave them in the car.
No, I got to get them out of there. My tires keep going down. That Harris is really bumping his gums.
Phil, I'm only guessing, but I'll bet my temperature just went up 2 points.
Well, Jack, if you have a fever, you ought to stay home and let Orson handle the show today.
What's a little fever? I've had it for 5 weeks now. 1 minute I'm hot, the next minute I'm cold. Then I'm hot, then I'm cold.
You sound like a shower bath at a cheap hotel.
Don't care what I sound like. Orson Welles is not going to do my program today.
Gosh, I'm sure going to miss Wellesley. Without him, the show won't have no refinement, no culture, no class.
And it won't have no Harris if you don't shut up. Anyway, what's all this raving about Orson Welles? Gosh, when I was in 3rd grade in Waukegan, I was a genius, too. I did something no other pupil ever did before.
What'd you do?
He joined the Navy.
All right, my record still stands.
Say, boss, the doctor's here. Do you want to see him?
No, Rochester, no. I've been lying here in bed all week because I can't find my pants.
You're pressing them under your mattress.
Well, show the doctor in.
Okay, here he is.
Oh, how do you do, Doctor?
Well, and how's my little patient? Shall we take that nasty cast off your leg today?
I got a cold in my chest, Doctor, not a broken leg.
Oh, pardon me. I was thinking of Claudette Colbert's Cocker Spaniel. He's coming along fine.
Well, I'm glad to hear it. Now, Doc, would you mind examining me? I got to go down to NBC and do a broadcast today.
Why? Is Orson Welles sick?
No, look, I'm getting better. Now, please examine me.
All right. I'll take a look at your chest first. Now, roll up your nightshirt.
Okay, here it goes. There you are. How do I look, Doc?
My, you're kind of caved in there.
Yeah.
Get a load of his chest. That's the only skin hammock I ever saw.
Oh, don't be so funny. Hey, Doc. Hey, watch your cigarette, Doc. That's my mouth, not an ashtray.
Pardon me. Now, let's see. I think I'll tap your chest.
Well, go ahead, tap me.
Now, hold still. My, there seems to be a piece of metal in there.
That's a bullet I got years ago when I was hunting moose in Saskatchewan.
It's a bullet you got from a Spanish dancer in El Paso.
Rosita. She finally ran away with a bullfighter. I wonder where she is now.
I wonder where the bullfighter is. I could use some meat.
Oh, Rosita. Well, can I do my show today, Doctor?
Yes, you'll be fine. Well, I must run along now. W.C. Field St. Bernard is out of brandy. Goodbye.
Say, Jackson, I wonder if that doctor's any good.
Oh, he must be. He delivered Whirlaway. Yeah, I hope Don and Dennis get here pretty soon. Then we can have our rehearsal and get started for the studio.
Hey, Jackson, what's the idea of rehearsing here in your bedroom anyway?
Well, I'm saving all my strength for my public. After all, I've been pretty... Well, I'll be darned. Oh, Rochester!
Yes, boss!
Why are you pouring my cough medicine in those cocktail glasses?
I thought it might liven up the party.
This isn't a party. Now, you put that medicine back in the bottle. Never talk with the guy. You always have to be the host around here. Gee, Don and Dennis should be here by now. It's almost 1 o'clock.
1 o'clock already? How about some lunch, Jackson?
Okay. But remember, Phil, we have rationing now, so I can't dish out food like I used to.
Like you used to.
Yes.
You got so many meals out of a leg of lamb one time, it got mad and kicked you.
Well, that settles it. There'll be no lunch served. Rochester, the lobster salad, hot rolls, and apple pie a la mode are out.
There's a dream meal that can go back to the clouds.
Whatever we have, don't serve it.
Say, Jackson, I was just wondering, have you still got that crazy boarder of yours?
You're referring to Mr. Billingsley, Phil. He's not crazy.
He's not crazy. You know how he made orange juice this morning? He ran the oranges through the ringer.
Through the ringer?
Then he hung them out to dry.
He just likes to try out new things, that's all. As a matter of fact, he...
Uh-oh. Speak of the devil, here he is.
Yeah. Oh, hello, Mr. Billingsley.
Hello, Mr. Benny. Still flat on your mattress, I see.
Yes, we were just talking about you, Mr. Billingsley. Your ears must be burning.
Well, I'll have to call the fire department. I've got a new hat on.
You haven't changed a bit. By the way, Mr. Billingsley, we're going to rehearse our radio program in a few minutes. Would you like to stay and hear it?
Oh, I'd love to. I'll just hide under the bed here in case your husband comes home. Here I go. Whoop, up my head. Well, goodbye, Mr. Benny.
Goodbye.
You dog, you.
Good old Billingsley. That must be Don and Dennis. Come in.
Oh, hello, Jack. Sorry we're a little late.
How do you feel, Mr. Benny?
Oh, hello, fellas. I feel pretty good, Dennis, and I'm anxious to get back on the program. You know, I have a hunch we're going to have a pretty good show today.
Without Orson Welles?
Yes.
Gosh, the Orson Welles program without Orson Welles. I worry about things like that.
The Jack Benny program. Get it straight, you little traitor. What's the matter with this gang?
Oh, Jack, don't be so touchy. You always imagine that people are running you down.
I imagine.
Yes, you jump at conclusions. If somebody happens to say you're a heel, you always take it the wrong way.
Well, how else can I take it? A heel is a heel.
You said it.
There you are. I imagine things, eh? Well, let's get started with the rehearsal. Rochester, pass the scripts around.
Yes, sir. Everybody gets a script and a glass of cough medicine.
There'll be no cough medicine.
I read this script, boys. A little nectar won't hurt it.
Rochester, whenever I need you in the capacity of a dramatic critic, I'll let you know. Now, let's get started, fellas. Now, Don introduces me in the show, and then I come on, and I say... Who can that be? Come in.
Hey, it's Miss Harrington, Mr. Wells' secretary. Hello, Miss Harrington.
Hello, Dennis. Good afternoon, everybody.
Hello, Slugger.
My, what an odd bed sheet. It has blue eyes.
This is me. This is me. I'm pale.
You certainly are. I have news for you, Mr. Benny. Mr. Wells is about to pay you a visit.
Orson? Orson? Coming here to visit me?
Yes, he'll be here shortly. Rochester, I want this room tidied up at once.
Yes, Miss Harrington?
I want a chair placed beside the bed.
Yes, Miss Harrington.
And put an X on Mr. Benny's forehead so Mr. Wells can spot him immediately.
Now, look, I'm not that pale. Now, Miss Harrington, would you mind sitting over there in the corner? We were just starting to rehearse our program.
Rehearse without the master? Mr. Wells won't like it.
Nuts to Mr. Wells.
I know just how you feel, Daddy.
Well, I'll be darned. She's human.
Attention, everybody! Mr. Wells is about to make his entrance.
Mr. Wells. Come in.
Orson Welles.
Well, Wellesley!
Gee, you'd think he was Frank Remley or something, the way they're jumping around here. For heaven's sake.
Well, Mary, it's nice to see you. How's Jack feeling today?
I feel well enough to do my broadcast, brother.
Wasn't that Jack's voice? Jack, where are you?
Right here. They forgot to mark me. Look, can't you see my big blue eyes?
Oh, yes, they're gorgeous.
Thank you.
You're so pale, Jack.
Well, you see, Orson, it's been so cloudy lately, I haven't been able to get any sun. I sit out in my backyard every day, but nothing happens.
I'll fix that. Miss Harrington, take a note.
Yes, Mr. Wells.
Get in touch with the Weather Bureau. The sun must shine tomorrow.
Yes, Mr. Wells. See what I mean, Daddy?
Hey, maybe he can do it.
Oh, by the way, Jack, I noticed a lot of orange peels hanging on your clothesline. Is that to ward off evil spirits?
No, Mr. Billingsley, my boarder, was making some juice. Now, if you'll excuse us for a few minutes, Orson, we'll go ahead with our rehearsal.
Oh, I certainly don't mind if I stay and watch, do you?
No, not at all. Now, as I was saying, fellas, Don introduces me, then I come on.
Pardon me, there doesn't seem to be a chair here.
What? No chair? Mr. Wells doesn't have a chair.
Oh, my goodness. Here, I can take mine.
No, Orson, take my chair.
Take mine. It's got a pretty cushion on it.
Take my chair, Orson. It's peachy. Here, take the bed. I'll go out and hang on the clothesline. For heaven's sake. Now, let's get going with this rehearsal, whether Mr. Wells is standing, sitting, or floating around the room. Now, the first thing to do is, Orson, come down here. He knows more magic. Now, the first thing to do is run over the dialogue.
Run over the dialogue? Oh, no, that'll never do. No.
What do you mean, no?
Comedy, Jack, should never be rehearsed. Repetition destroys its sparkle and spontaneity.
But
the
Orson,
important elements of a variety program are the songs and music.
Look,
now,
but Orson,
Dennis, I want you to run over your song so we can get an idea of its length.
Now, wait a minute, Orson. This rehearsal is my business. You're not even going to be on the show.
I know, but I shall be listening. It's about time we listeners had something to say. Sing, Dennis.
Yeah, sing. I see what you mean, sister.
How is that, Mr. Wells? Do you think it'll do for the program?
Well, Dennis, I think Mr. Benny should answer that question. After all, he's running a show this week.
Darn right I am. Your song was swell, Dennis, but it's a little long. I want you to cut half a minute out.
Cut? Half a minute? Cut of that beautiful ballad would ruin it.
Might, it's sad. Tell you what, Dennis, I want you to add a half a minute
Add?
to it.
You want him to add half a minute and destroy its musical climax?
I never thought of that. Leave it alone, Dennis.
Leave it alone? You want him to leave it alone and...
Now, wait a minute, Orson. Took him 10 years to build up the name Orson Welles. I made it Oris in 1 second. Wait, Orson, what the heck do you want?
I wish I knew.
So do I. Look, Orson, it's getting late. You mind? Look, Orson, I'm sorry I killed your gag there. Or I'm glad. I don't know which. Orson, it's getting late. Do you mind if we get on with the rehearsal?
Of course not. I'll just glance through this manuscript here on the table. Is it a screenplay?
No, that's my autobiography, Orson. I've been working on the story of my life since I've been sick.
Intriguing title. Jack Benny from Rags to Radio.
Yes, I was going to call it The Loves of Jack Benny, but I haven't done so well.
This is a thrilling opening. Jack Benny, was born on a farm near Waukegan, Illinois, many years ago.
It is thrilling, isn't it?
A great day of great rejoicing on the farm. Chickens were cackling, cows were mooing, hogs were grunting, and father was cockeyed.
What a celebration.
Young Jack Benny, from his very early
Pardon me
days...
for interrupting, Orson, but we've got to get finished with our rehearsal.
No. This is interesting. Go ahead, Orson. Go ahead.
But, Jack, now,
Don, as long as I haven't been on the show for 5 weeks, I thought we'd concentrate on me.
Now, just a minute, Jack. You can't seriously believe it. We listeners tune in to the Great Nuts Flakes program every week just to hear about you.
But, Orson...
Of course not.
Can't I talk about myself? Can't I tell people my cold is better?
Jack, I wouldn't take any bows on that cold till you're strong enough to have a beautiful nurse.
Oh, well, I'll tell them anyway.
Well, and how's my little patient? Shall we take that nasty cast off your leg today?
Doc, I'm not a cocker spaniel. Look, but as long as you're here, you can give me an aspirin. All this excitement has given me a little headache.
An aspirin? Here you are.
Thank you.
That'll be 5 cents, please.
Look, put it on my bill. Now, if I can just swallow the thing.
Would you like to grease the trap with a little cough medicine?
I don't need any chaser. See, it's down.
Say, that was a pretty big pill. It didn't look like an aspirin to me.
Me neither. You neither? You're the doctor.
Well, you don't have to get so huffy about it. I just happened to give you a sleeping pill by mistake.
What?
You're lucky. It might have been a dog biscuit.
A sleeping pill?
He gave me a sleeping pill.
I can't go to sleep. I got a show to do today. Remember, Don, you introduced me, and I'll come out and say,
Well, Orson, looks like you'll have to do the show today.
Be glad to, Mary.
Well, come on, everybody. Let him sleep.
Those pills are wonderful. I'm headed for Central Avenue. I came back for the cough medicine, folks.
Thanks, Orson. Good night, folks.
The Grape Nuts Flakes program, starring Jack Benny, with Mary Livingston, Phil Harris, Dennis Day, Rochester, and yours truly, Don Wilson. For now, ladies and gentlemen, we would like to take you to the backyard of Jack Benny's home in Beverly Hills, where Jack has been spending a great deal of time the past week out in the open air. It's yesterday morning. Take it away, Beverly Hills.
Oh, gosh, it's beautiful out here today. You know, Rochester, there's nothing like spring in Southern California.
Uh-huh.
Where else can you see flowers in full bloom in the middle of April?
Uh-huh.
Where else can you sit out in the open beside your swimming pool and feel those hot rays beating down?
You better turn off that sun lamp, boss. You'll cook.
Yeah, I guess I've had enough. I don't want to get too much all at once. I'm the type that freckles.
Me too. You'll have to take my word for it.
Now, Rochester, pull the sun lamp back in the bushes and cover it with palm leaves.
Leave it right out in the open, boss. The heck with the Chamber of Commerce.
Covered with palm leaves. And by the way, Rochester, how's our victory garden coming along?
Oh, fine, boss. Mr. Coleman's chickens were over early this morning and weeded it for us.
Ronald Coleman's chickens? Rochester, I told you to fix that hole in the fence.
I did. Even the big fat ones can get through now.
I mean, block it. Those darn chickens will scratch up all the seeds.
Let's get this straightened out, boss. Is our objective carrots, peas, or fried chicken?
Carrots and peas, vegetables. Now block up that hole.
Okay, I'll cover it with a frying pan.
Use a piece of wire. Wire. Oh, hello, Mary.
Hello, Jack. You well enough to be outdoors now?
Oh, sure. The doctor told me to get plenty of fresh air, so I thought I'd stretch out here in my bathing suit.
Bathing suit? Is that thing a bathing suit?
Of course.
Well, you ought to get a new one. They're not wearing them with bloomers anymore.
I've got helium in these bloomers. I'm not going to sink.
Besides, the moth chewed the elbow out of your left sleeve.
Mary, it so happens that I lost the elbow out of that sleeve when attacked by a man-eating shark in Lake Michigan.
A shark in Lake Michigan?
All right, it was a perch. In mating season, they're vicious. Anyway, Mary, isn't it beautiful out here today? Look at those birds. Aren't they cute? There's always a louse in every crowd. What is that for?
Well, I don't blame him. The idea of having a penny peanut machine out here for birds.
That's for people, not birds.
We had a worm machine out here, but they crawled out for nothing.
I gotta have that fixed.
Are you going in for a dip in the pool, Miss Livingston?
Not now, Rochester. I think I'll wait till later.
If you're smart, Mary, you'll go in now.
Oh, that's right. The prices change at 12 o'clock.
Not that, but the pool gets crowded later in the afternoon. We have the same prices all day.
I just got a load of that silly sign you got out front. Swim at Benny's for 20 pennies.
Mary, I have a lovely pool. There's no reason why I shouldn't share it with people. Naturally, I have to make a nominal charge to pay for
Here comes the customer, boss.
Oh, yes. Pull those palm leaves off the cash register. Well, good morning, young man.
Good morning, Mr. Benny. Is your pool open yet?
Yep, this is the first day of the season, and you're the first customer.
Oh, boy, the first customer. Then I get the free swim.
No, I'm sorry, young man. I've discontinued that policy this year. Sorry.
That's all right. The whole world is changing.
Yes, it is.
Well, here's my 15 cents. See you later, Mr. Benny.
Oh, just a minute, Bud. On account of the laundry situation, I'm making a small charge for towels this year. That'll be 20 cents in all.
But I brought my own towel.
I'm sorry. You'll have to check that.
But, Mr. Benny...
You see, if I let people bring in towels, I won't know who's taking mine out.
But that doesn't seem very...
Next, please. Next.
There's no one behind him.
Quiet. 20 cents out of a quarter. Here's your nickel change, kid. Here, take your nickel.
Keep it. You'll think of something.
Take it. Oh, attendant, show this gentleman to his locker.
Yes, sir. Right this way, sir. Can I bring you a scotch and soda, sir?
Rochester. We'll see that he gets just one towel. Remember last year there were a lot of them missing.
Yes, sir.
No, Mary, I have a feeling this is going to be my best season.
Well, I think you opened too early. It's pretty chilly yet to go in swimming.
Oh, there's a little ice around the edge of the pool, but out in the center it's all open water. Uh-oh, here come some more customers.
It's Don Wilson and Phil Harris.
Well, they better be customers if they know what's good for them. Well, good morning, gentlemen. Welcome to Benny's bathing pool.
Hiya, Jackson. Mary.
Hello, Jack. How's your cold coming along?
Oh, I feel fine, Don. I'll be back on the program tomorrow as master of ceremonies.
Ain't we going to have Orson Welles on the show?
Definitely not. I'm going to handle the show myself.
Back to the corn, huh?
Phil, for a guy with a wife, a baby, and no talent, you're taking an awful chance. Now, give me 20 cents. You're going in for a swim.
Swim in that icy water? What are you trying to do, sober me up?
It isn't so cold, Phil. I dove in myself this morning, didn't I, Rochester?
Yeah, but that quarter on the bottom of the pool turned out to be a bottle cap.
Well, the way the light hit it really fooled me. How about you, Don? Are you going in for a swim?
I don't know, Jack. The water in the pool seems awfully low.
Believe me, Don, when you get in, Mary and I'll have to move to higher ground. Now, give me 40 cents for you and Phil.
Okay, here you are.
Thank you. Take those lockers, number 3 and 5 there on the end, fellas.
Okay, Jackson.
Well, 3 customers already. It isn't even noon yet. Oh, for Rochester. Rochester, what are you doing with that? Rochester, what are you doing with that chicken?
What's that, boss?
I said, what are you doing with that chicken?
I was just searching it to see if it had any towels.
Throw that bird over the fence.
Okay. So long, lunch.
Rochester, if I told you once, I told you 10 times, don't annoy Mr. Coleman's chickens. If any of those hens are missing, he'll blame us.
That's what you said about his grapefruit, and he has yet to mention it.
Well, it so happens, Rochester, that the grapefruit hit the ground on my side of the fence.
Yes, sir. That cold shoot worked out fine.
Now, Rochester, if you don't... Well, here comes Dennis. Hello, kid.
Sorry I'm late, Mr. Benny. Are there many customers here?
No, only 3 so far.
Good. Then I'll have time for a dip in the pool first.
Dennis, if you read your contract with Benny Bathing Pool Incorporated, you will find that Clause B stipulates that you are to supply entertainment, whether our customers here or not. Now, let's have a song.
But, Mr. Benny, that contract also says that I'm supposed to be the lifeguard.
So what?
Well, gee, if I'm the lifeguard, I better learn to swim. I worry about things like that.
Look, kid, sing your song, bring in some customers. You can learn to swim later. Now, go ahead. Let's have your song. That was swell, Dennis. In fact, I want you to do that song on the program tomorrow.
Okay. Can I go in the pool now, Mr. Benny?
Yes, but don't dive in the shallow end. I've got rice planted there. You know? By the way, kid, I've been meaning to talk to you about something. I heard you on the Eddie Cantor program last week.
How was it? I wasn't home that night.
Well, naturally. Now, Dennis, who gave you permission to go on Cantor's program?
Orson Welles, that's who.
Orson Welles! Well, watch it, kid. Or from now on, you'll be working for Orson Welles. Now, go for a swim before you think that over. You know, I got a great idea, Mary. What my pool needs is a little glamour. Do you think you could get some of your girlfriends to come over?
Well, I don't know, Jack.
Sure you could. Call up Barbara Stanwyck and Ann Southern and Claudette Colbert and invite them over for a swim. Of course, I don't think I ought to charge them, do you?
Look, Jack, if you get those gals in your pool, you can bottle the water and sell it for $10 a quart.
Where can you get corks nowadays? There's a shortage, sister. Well, what do you know? The sun is finally coming out.
Yeah, why don't you take off your galoshes and tan your tussies?
Mary, stop making fun of my ensemble, will you?
Uh-oh. Say, boss, here comes that crazy board of yours.
Rochester, how many times do I have to tell you that Mr. Billingsley is not crazy?
He ain't, hey? Did you see him at breakfast this morning?
No, what happened at breakfast?
He swallowed a raw egg and then drank boiling water for 3 minutes.
He was in a hurry, that's all. Well, hello, Mr. Billingsley.
Hello, Mr. Benny. One of the Bloomer girls, I see.
No, Mr. Billingsley. This is a bathing suit. I'm out here drinking in the sunshine.
Drinking in the sunshine. I'll get a bottle and join you.
No, you misunderstand. I mean, I'm out here getting a tan. Old Sal just came out.
Oh, yes, old Sal Wurzel. Been east, hasn't he?
Good old Sal. He'll love that one. I'll never get out of this. I better change the subject. By the way, Mr. Billingsley, I see you have your bathing suit on. Are you going for a plunge?
Oh, I'd love to, but I left my plunger at the Mocambo. Well, goodbye, Mr. Benny.
Goodbye.
Oh, she's living in Anaheim.
Good old Mr. Billingsley. By the way, Rochester, he's supposed to pay his board today. Did you collect it?
No, he said the money won't be dry till tomorrow.
That's my fault. I should never have given him that printing press for Christmas.
Hey, kids, get loaded down on me in these bathing suits. Yeah, don't we look like a couple of Adonises?
Don, you alone look like a couple of Adonises. Say, Phil, that's an unusual bathing suit for a man to be wearing. Where'd you get it?
Ain't it a beaut? Alice wore it in their last picture.
Alice Faye wore that suit? Somehow on you, Phil, it doesn't inspire me.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I'll never be elected Miss Brooklyn Navy Yard, would I?
No, but you might get runner-up on Miss Boyle Heights. Well, what are you waiting for, Don? Aren't you going to jump in the pool?
Oh, I don't think so, Jack. The water looks pretty cold.
Oh, come on, jump in, Don. Take a chance.
Come on, Donzie. What are you waiting for? In you go.
Look out, Don. He's going to push it.
Oh, Phil, stop that. What are you... Oh, Phil, stop this. Well, then, come on. Jump in. Jump in.
Okay, here I go.
Oh, watch it, Mary. Watch it.
Watch what?
Get up on the chair. Here comes a wave.
Ooh, that water's cold.
Well, here's 20 cents, Jack. I'm soaked to the skin.
Thank you. That water's got chlorine in it. I hope it didn't ruin my victory garden.
Your garden's all right. But say, Jack, what's Rochester putting up in the middle of it?
Where? Well, I'll be darned. Rochester, take that off.
But, boss.
Take that off the scarecrow.
But, boss, the crows here in Beverly Hills are very ritzy.
I don't care. Take my tuxedo off that scarecrow. Now take it off.
Your diamond stick pin, too?
Everything. I want that tuxedo. Suppose I win the Academy Award next year. What'll I wear to the banquet?
If you win the Academy Award, you can go in your underwear. Who else will be there?
Say, I'm liable to win the award for tomatoes alone. My garden keeps on the way it's going.
Oh, you're some farmer. You and your silly experiments.
Oh, they're not so silly.
Remember last year? You sprinkled cheese all over the ground and tried to face all rotten potatoes.
Sure, I sprinkled cheese. I had an idea. What are you giggling about?
other gardener around here had trouble with potato bugs, but you had mice.
All right, I still say it doesn't hurt to experiment.
Say, Mr. Benny, pardon me for interrupting, but would you
Just
mind
a minute,
if I...
Dennis. You know, Mary, I wouldn't laugh about my garden if I were you. I might turn out to be another Luther Burbank.
Another who?
Burbank. Luther Burbank.
Oh, yeah, they named Glendale after him.
They named Burbank after him.
Oh, I guess I didn't analyze it.
You certainly didn't.
Say, Mr. Benny, speaking of horticulture experiments, are you going to try out that idea I gave you?
No, Rochester, no. I told you it would never work.
What was his idea, Jack?
Oh, Rochester wanted to irrigate the lemon trees with gin and grow Tom Collins. It would never have worked. Now, Dennis, what was it you started to ask me?
Well, can I phone my girlfriend and have her come over here for a swim? It's very important that I see her in a bathing suit.
Why do you have to see your girl in a bathing suit?
Well, there's a rumor going around that she's got knocked knees, and I can't tell by listening.
What's your girl's name, Dennis?
Mary Bell Buzzer.
Mary Bell Buzzer. Oh, yes, she has got... bring her around, Dennis. Bring her around anytime.
Say, Jackson, here comes your medico.
My what?
Your medico, that's doctor for Latin.
That's Latin for doctor. Well, hello, Doc.
Well, and how's my little patient? Shall we take that nasty cast off your leg today?
Look, Doctor, I had a cold, you cured me, and I feel fine. Now, how much do I owe you?
How much?
Yes. What's my bill?
Just a minute. Now, where did I put that hypodermic needle?
I don't need a hypodermic. I can take it like a man. Now, how much do I owe you?
Well, there was a prescription for cough medicine, which cost $2.
Uh-huh.
Then there were 3 sulfa tablets, which sold for 10 cents apiece.
Well, that's $2.30 so far. What else?
You bit my thermometer in two while listening to the Fred Allen program. That's $1.25.
It was worth it. Now, what's the total, Doc?
Well, including 6 visits to your house, the whole thing comes to $45,000.
$45,000? Now, wait a minute, Doc. Aren't you starting a little high?
That's the only way I'll get $10, and you know it.
$10? Well, that's more like it. Now, I'll tell you what, Doc. This is the grand opening of my swimming pool today. Now, how'd you like to take a free swim and call the whole thing even?
Good. I'll dive right in now.
Hey, wait a minute, Doctor. Not there. That's the shallow end.
Whoop, bump my head.
Doctor, come out of there. Doctor, you're ruining my rice bed. Doctor, come out of... Rochester, put down that chicken. Doctor, come out of that pool. Rochester, put down that... Rochester! Doctor, Rochester!
And that, ladies and gentlemen, is exactly what happened yesterday at the grand opening of Jack's swimming pool.
That's right, Dom. My rice bed was ruined, but we had fried chicken for dinner. Play, Phil. That was I Love Coffee, I Love Tea, played by Phil Harris and his boys, who have yet to drink coffee or tea out of anything but a saucer. I might even have said who have yet to drink either coffee or tea. But I've been sick and I'm sweet now. Yeah. And now, ladies and gentlemen, we have something of great interest to all of you. In a few moments...
You better be sweet.
What?
Look, Jackson, I don't care whether you've been sick or not. Lay off them wisecracks.
In a few moments, ladies and gentlemen...
From now on, be a gentleman. If you can't say something derogatory about my boys, don't say nothing.
Okay, I'll be derogatory. And now, ladies and gentlemen...
You don't even know what derogatory means.
Derogatory?
Derogatory means tending to or the nature of derogation, disparagement, or detraction.
Dennis, that's Don Wilson's line.
I thought there was something wrong here.
Folks, what other program has such bottlenecks? What a dodo.
Wait a minute, Jack. You don't appreciate Dennis. I think he's a very nice boy.
Sure, he's a nice boy, Mary, but he doesn't have to... Thank you. Good night, everybody.
The Jack Benny program is written by Bill Maher and Ed Ballard. The Grape Nuts Flakes program, starring Jack Benny, with Mary Livingston, Phil Harris, Dennis Day, Rochester, and yours truly, Don Wilson.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, we bring you a man who sold more carnations in the Easter parade this morning than any other vendor in the Los Angeles area, Jack Benny.
Thank you. Hello again. This is Jack Benny, the florist, talking. And, Don, you're a little wrong there. I wasn't selling carnations in the Easter parade. I was giving them away.
Giving them away?
Yes, every fellow that bought a gardenia for his girl got a free carnation for himself. You see, Don, I planted 10,000 carnations in my backyard to aid the war effort.
Well, for heaven's sakes, Jack, how can carnations aid the war effort?
Well, my fortune teller told me I could make rubber out of them. I boiled them and boiled them, but they still don't bounce. Oh, that's the first time Princess Korsakov has ever failed me.
Korsakov? Why, I never heard of that fortune teller. Is she expensive?
What'd you say, Don?
I say, I never heard of Princess Korsakov as a fortune teller. Is she expensive?
Well, Don, a private reading is $1. But if you order the 75-cent lunch and don't have dessert, it's free. It's a choice of deep dish apple pie or your future. Oh, hello, Mary.
Hello, Firestone.
All right, well, I thought I could make rubber. Anyway, Mary, as I was telling Don, that's the first time Princess Korsakov has failed me.
Oh, that dame's full of baloney.
She is, eh?
Remember the time she said you were going to be the President of the United States?
Never mind.
You went out and had cards printed. Jack Benny, you voted for me. Quit beefing.
Don't laugh. Don't laugh, Mary. I may still be president.
Well, you ought to tell Roosevelt he might want to look around.
Keep it up, Mary. Keep that up, and you won't be Secretary of Labor.
Oh, you promised that to every girl in Hollywood.
Well, you're off the list, young lady. And you can also tell that father of yours that the FBI can get along without him.
That's a dirty trick. He sold bluing house to house to get a G-Man badge and everything.
Too bad. Hello, Phil.
Oh, how are you, Phil? Say, that's a beautiful carnation you have in your buttonhole. Where'd you get it?
I bought a gardenia for Alice on the boulevard this morning, and the sweetest little old lady with a shawl over her head gave me this carnation for nothing.
Well, I have a surprise for you, Phil. That little old lady was me. That makeup kind of fooled you, didn't it?
Incredible.
Well, it fooled Herbert Marshall, too. When I gave him his change, he pressed it back in my hand and said, "Bless you." Gosh, it made tears come to my eyes.
Well, you didn't fool Jack Oakey. You lifted your skirt and rolled your pants down.
He's just a smart aleck, that's all.
Say, Mr. Benny, what do you think of my new Easter?
Oh, hello. Hello, Dennis.
Hello.
Well, kid, did you have a nice Easter?
Yeah, my mother gave me a basket with 2 chocolate rabbits in it.
2 chocolate rabbits?
Pretty soon
Well.
I'll have hundreds of them, won't I?
No use waiting. I got to have a talk with that kid. Say, Dennis, that's a nice suit you're wearing. Is that your new Easter outfit?
Yeah, do you like it?
Oh, it's swell. Well, what's that big lump in the back?
My tailor, he's still
Working
on it.
That's been on every program in the last 3 months. Well, Dennis, if you tell your tailor to get out, you can do your song now.
Okay.
Hold it a minute, kid. Say, Jackson, what's this I hear about Rochester's horse running in the Kentucky Derby next Saturday? Is that a fact?
Yes, Phil, but I'd rather not talk about it. Sing, Dennis.
Well, imagine Rochester having a horse in the Kentucky Derby.
Well, it's really that old nag that used to pull my buggy around. I sold it to Rochester for $4.
$4?
Yes.
You sold Rochester a horse for $4 that's good enough to run in the Kentucky Derby?
I thought he was going to have a barbecue. I never dreamed he'd put a jockey on it. Anyway, that same horse under the name of Burnt Cork is running for over $50,000 in the Derby Saturday. But I made a mistake. I don't mind.
You don't mind? Then why did you try to drown yourself in your pool yesterday?
I wasn't trying to drown myself.
Do you always go in swimming with a manhole cover around your neck?
That was my dog tag from the last war. And oh, well, I sold the thoroughbred for $4. It's my loss, so let's forget it. That's all.
But, Jack, what about your fortune teller, Princess Korsakov? Didn't she see racehorse in your tea leaves?
No, just rubber and president. You better snap out of it or I'll start eating somewhere else. Go ahead and sing, Dennis. Hold it, kid. That's probably Rochester. He's been hinting around all week about going to the Kentucky Derby. Hello?
Hello, Mr. Benny. This is Rochester.
Rochester, if you're calling about getting time off to go to the Kentucky Derby, the answer is no.
Oh, I forgot all about the Derby. That was just a silly whim of mine.
Good.
But I was wondering, boss, my sister Bedelia is getting married, and if it's all right with you, I'd like to attend the ceremony.
Getting married, eh? Where does your sister live?
Louisville.
I thought so. Now, Rochester, don't pull that stuff. Your sister Bedelia lives in Chicago.
That's my sister Bedelia. This was Bedelia.
Oh, Bedelia and Bedelia. Isn't that unusual? Two sisters having names that are so much alike?
Oh, that's nothing. I got a brother named Rochester.
Rochester, Rochester, Bedelia, Bedelia. You're not going to the Derby.
That's Derby, boss.
I don't care what it is. Now, look, Rochester, just because our horse is running in the Derby, that doesn't mean that...
Our horse?
Yes. I talked to my lawyer, and he says that legally, half of that horse belongs to me.
Well, unless he backs over the finish line, my half is going to win.
Rochester, regardless of the outcome, you're not going to Louisville. Goodbye.
Goodbye. Well, I'll try something else, Rochester.
Get your brother out of my house. Sing, Dennis. I got to call my lawyer. I wonder if I really do own half of that horse. I don't know. That was April Showers, sung by Dennis Day. April Showers. That's really a beautiful song.
It's pretty old, too, isn't it, Mr. Benny?
Yes, it is. Gosh, I remember when Al Jolson first introduced that song back in 1922. My father took me to the theater.
Just a minute, Junior. In 1922, you were just as old as Al Jolson.
What?
My father took me to the theater. Don't give me that kid stuff.
What do you mean, kid stuff? My father happened to be in New York. I was broke, and he took me to the theater. That's all I said. Say. And another thing, young lady, don't ever say that I'm as old as Al Jolson.
Go on, he even looks younger than you do.
Well, naturally, he takes it easy. He works on his knees. I have to stand up to make it. Boy, never forget Jolson. Anyway, let's forget about me for a while. Now, where were we? Now, who can that be? Hello?
Hello, Mr. Benny. This is Rochester.
Oh, you again. What do you want?
I just got a telegram from my uncle in Rockdale.
Uh-huh.
He's very ill, and he wants me to come over there right away and give him a transfusion.
Oh, your uncle's sick, eh? That's too bad.
Yeah.
By the way, where is Rockdale?
About 8 miles out of Louisville.
I see. Well, Rochester, you seem to have a very heavy concentration of relatives in that area. And besides, what makes you think you can fool me?
I got the horse from you, didn't I?
I don't care what you got. Now, look, Rochester, you're not going to the Kentucky Derby. Goodbye.
Goodbye. Oh, say, boss.
Now what?
How about... Oh, this was too fantastic. I'll work on it and call you back.
Don't bother. Imagine me selling that racehorse for $4.
Oh, well. Play, Phil. That was either Easter Parade or White Christmas, played by Phil Harris and his orchestra. Which song was it, Phil?
What's the difference? They were both written by Irving Berlin.
That's not the point. I'd like to know. I have to announce the name of the song.
Well, if you've got to do it, why don't you do it in double talk? You know, start it off something like this. Say, that was Thomas Emerson with the Thomas Primus, played with a solid 4. No fiddle.
Now, Phil, look, Phil, no, stop the kidding. This is important. Was that number White Christmas or Easter Parade?
Well, the majority rules. Why don't you take a vote?
That's an idea. I'll take a vote. Now, will all you boys who were playing White Christmas please raise your hands? How many hands? How many hands, Mary?
8.
8. Now, will all you boys who were playing Easter Parade please raise your hands? How many hands, Mary?
11.
11. That was Easter Parade, played by Phil Harris and his orchestra, thus ending tonight's great mystery. And now, ladies and gentlemen, I'm kidding, and imagine he's selling that racehorse for $4. Oh, well, he can't win. That's one consolation. Now, ladies
What
and
do you
gentlemen...
mean he can't win? I got a hunch that burnt cork is going to come through. What do you say? We all chip in $5 apiece and make a bet.
Say, that's a good idea. Here's my 5, Phil.
Here's my 5.
Here's mine, Mr. Harris.
And now, ladies and gentlemen...
How about you, Reckless? Aren't you going to take a chance for $5?
I'd love to, Mary, but I left my money in my other shoes. Anyway, I don't believe in gambling when there are minors present.
But, Mr. Benny, I'm over 21.
I mean coal miners. A lot of Phil's boys come from Scranton, Pennsylvania. Anyway, I'm not betting.
Well, I'll tell you what, Jackson. I'm going to put $5 on that horse's nose just for you.
Well.
And if that horse comes in the minute I get paid off, I'm coming over to your house with the money right in my hand.
Well.
If you reach for it, I'm going to break your arm.
I knew there was a catch to that. How about you, Dennis? Would you like to bet $5 for your Uncle Jack?
You're always my uncle when money comes up.
Well, I just thought it'd be nice if... Oh, forget it, kid. Forget it.
That looks all right on paper, but will it work?
Look, fella, I'm not throwing away any $5, and that's final.
But, Jack... Let him alone, Don. Let him alone. If Jackson wants to save his dough, that's all right with me. After all, he's leaving it all to my kid.
No, you got that wrong, Phil. Your baby is a girl. My money goes to the first member of my cast who has a boy and names it after me.
Does that go for me, too, Mr. Benny?
Of course, Dennis.
Gosh, I gotta find a girl, fall in love with her, marry her, have a baby, and it's gotta be a boy. I worry about things like that.
Well, stop worrying. And now, ladies and gentlemen, say, I wonder if Rochester's horse has got a chance.
Well, it's not a sure thing, but who knows about horse races?
Yeah, who knows? Give me that phone, Mary.
Here you are.
Thanks.
Who are you calling, Jack?
Princess Korsakov. I never make a move without her. Hello?
Hello, Boyle Heights Gypsy Tea Room. Boyle speaking.
I'd like to speak to Princess Korsakov, please.
The princess?
Yeah.
She's out in the kitchen washing dishes.
Tell her to wipe her hands and come to the phone. This is important.
Okay, Firestone.
Hello, Princess? Oh, she isn't there yet. I wouldn't mind making a bet.
Hello, Princess Korsakov. Who's calling, please? Don't tell me I'll see it in the crystal.
Never mind, Princess. This is Benny.
Who?
Benny, Jack Benny.
Oh, the president.
Thank you. Now, Princess, I'm calling you about the Kentucky Derby.
I knew it wouldn't look good.
No, it's a horse race, the Kentucky Derby. Now, Princess, it's very important that I know which horse is going to win.
Wait, I'll look in my crystal ball.
Okay, look.
I see a big crowd of people.
Yes?
They're frantic. They're excited. They're cheering.
Yes?
Alabama's kicking off.
That's the Rose Bowl game. That was 3 years ago. Look again, Princess.
I see people watching a horse race.
That's it. That's the Derby. Now tell me, Princess, what's the name of the winning horse?
It's Burnt Cork, and he's coming in backwards.
Then my half is winning. Thank you, Princess. I'll be in for lunch tomorrow. Any advice?
Yeah, don't order the meatloaf.
Thank you. Goodbye. Well, fellas, it's all set. Burnt Cork is going to win the Derby.
Then give me $5, Jackson, and you're in with it.
Nothing doing. I'm going to bet $50, and I'm sending Rochester to Louisville. You get better odds at the track. I'll call them right now. Yes, sir.
But, Mr. Benny, I thought you didn't gamble.
Shut up. Besides, I know who's going to win. Is that gambling? Anyway, Dennis. Hello?
Benny's rubber plantation, keep 'em bouncing.
Rochester, this is Mr. Benny. I got good news for you. You can go to Louisville.
I can?
Yes, and I want you to take $50 out of my money and bet it on Burnt Cork to win.
$50. By the way, where are you keeping your money this week?
As if you didn't know.
No, I've looked all over.
Now listen, Rochester. Listen carefully. You know the big candelabra we've got on the dining room table?
Uh-huh.
Well, melt the third candle from the left, and you'll find a key.
Uh-huh.
Then take the key, go into the kitchen, and unlock the cupboard.
Uh-huh.
There's a big jar there on the second shelf that says peanut butter. Dig down in the peanut butter, take out $50, rinse it off, and bet it on your horse. And remember, bet it to win, not to place, not to show. Bet $50 on Burnt Cork to win. And we'll be with you again next Sunday night at the same time. And just think, Mary, by this time next Sunday, I'll know whether Rochester's horse has won or not.
Yeah, you'll either be swimming with a manhole cover around your neck or rolling on the dance floor at Ciro's.
Yeah, the suspense is awful. Good night, folks.
The Grape Nuts Flakes program, starring Jack Benny, with Mary Livingston, Phil Harris, Dennis Day, Rochester, and yours truly, Don Wilson.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, we bring you a man who lost $50 on Rochester's horse in the Kentucky Derby yesterday and took it like a man, it says here, Jack Benny.
Thank you. Hello again. This is Jack Benny, the gambler, talking. And, Don, I'll admit that I was a little disappointed when Rochester's horse came in last. But what really gets me is that I lost $50 and the whole race was over in 2 minutes.
Well, what's that got to do with it?
Well, losing $50 in 2 minutes, that's too fast. Why, several times in hold-ups, I've stretched it out to 10 minutes. You know, ad-lib with a guy while he's taking my shoe off. Anyway, the race is over. I lost $50, and heaven knows I wish I could forget it. I mean, I'm really not a sore loser.
What do you mean you're not a sore loser?
Oh, hello, Mary. I mean, I can take it. I never care what I lose on a horse race.
What are you talking about? A couple of months ago, you lost $2 on one of Bing Crosby's horses, and you burned his house down.
I was in New York when Crosby's house burned down. Should have been his horse. But getting back to the Kentucky Derby, I wasn't disappointed when I lost that bet on Rochester's horse. I heard the result over the air, I walked over to the radio, and I turned off the dial.
You bit off the dial.
Mary, for the last time, I was not disappointed. I was not upset.
Then why did you run in the bathroom and try to slash your wrist?
Because the broadcast was sponsored by Gillette Blue Blades, and it threw me a thought. That's the only reason.
Say, Jackson, you aren't the only guy that lost dough on that race. I hear Rochester lost his whole bankroll.
Yeah, he wired me for some money, but I didn't send him any.
Well, then how's he going to get home?
He's riding his horse from Kentucky. He'd make much better time if the horse would ride him. Burnt cork, he had to call him. Burnt cork. I can roll a cork down the street with my nose faster than that horse can run.
It just so happens you have a very good nose for cork rolling.
That's not the picture at all, Sid. Stop jiggling, you know.
You want to know something, Jackson? I won $20 on Rochester's horse.
How could you win $20 when the horse came in last?
I bet he'd still be breathing at the end of the race.
Well, as a matter of fact, Bill, you're the kind of a... Oh, hello, Dennis.
Hello, Mr. Benny. Well, you lost $50. Go ahead, kick me.
Kick you? What for?
It's right in my contract. When you're lonely, sad, and blue, I get it.
Don't worry, kid. I'm not going to kick you.
Okay, then I'll take this pie tin out of my pants.
Well, I'll be darned. There's a pie in it. And now, ladies and gentlemen...
Lemon meringue.
I know. Now, let's forget about the Derby and horse races and everything. We got a program to do. And now, ladies and gentlemen, for our feature attraction this evening, we are going to present...
Oh, pardon me, Jack, I'll take it. And now, ladies and gentlemen, for our feature attraction this evening, we would like to show you what happened last week when Jack rented Eddie Cantor's house in Palm Springs. It seems that...
Now, wait a minute, Don. Nobody's interested in that little episode in Palm Springs. I rented Cantor's house. I had a very pleasant week. I paid him for it.
You what?
I had a very pleasant week. So Tonight we're going to do a play.
But Mary thought this would be much funnier.
Mary. Who's the boss of this program, me or Mary?
Grape nuts flakes in the big 12-ounce economy-size package. That's who's the boss.
Well, if you're referring to General Foods, Don, we get along swell.
Gosh, I remember old General Foods when he was just a yard bird. That hair ought to be shot. Missed me.
Mary, take my gun outside. There's no smoking in the studio. And now, ladies and gentlemen, as I started to say before I miss Harris, for our feature attraction this evening, we are going to present a play.
Now, Jack Benny, we're not having any play. Go ahead, Don. Tell everybody what happened to us at Palm Springs last week.
Okay. Well, the whole thing started when Jack's doctor told him last Monday morning that the only way to really clear up his cold was to spend a week on the desert.
On the desert. Big fat cactus.
Jack and Mary had just left the doctor's office and were walking along Vine Street toward the Brown Derby, where Jack gets his toothpicks and parks.
There you are, mister. Are you all right now?
Yes. Thanks, honey.
Are you sure you can manage alone?
Yes. I'm all right.
Well, goodbye, mister.
Goodbye. Darn those Boy Scouts. They're always leading me across the street. Not that old.
Well, I'm starving, Jack. Let's drop in at the Brown Derby and get something to eat.
I know a place right up the street from the Brown Derby that's terrific. Houlihan's Hot Doggery.
I'm not going to that joint.
What do you mean, joint? Everybody goes there. Look at their slogan, Burp with the movie star. Darn this cold. Imagine my doctor telling me the only way to get over it is to go to Palm Springs. Now I have to buy a tent.
A what?
A tent.
Did it ever occur to you to stop at a hotel?
I don't know anybody staying at a hotel in Palm Springs.
I mean, get a room of your own, a place where you can have both ends of the towel.
Oh, I might have to at that. Well, here's Houlihan's Hot Doggery. Let's go in. Hello, Houlihan. How about something to eat? Did you make a reservation?
I don't know, did you, Jack?
No, I forgot to.
Then you baby?
Look, Mr. Houlihan, I wish the plates in here were as shiny as his head. Look, Mr. Houlihan, I'm Jack Benny. I dine here 4 or 5 times a week.
You got a wonderful stomach. Get out of here before it's too late.
Okay, some other time. Come on, Mary. Let's go.
Wow, this fresh air smells good.
We were only in there a second. If you want to go out and reach so ritzy, we'll walk down to the Brown Derby. Come on. Gosh, the Brown Derby sure is jammed today.
Give me your arm, mister, and I'll help you through the crowd.
Go away, son. Go away. I don't need you.
Well, if you ever do, ask for Dick Davis, Beaver Patrol.
I'll remember that.
Come on, let's find a table.
Yeah. See, this place sure draws the tourists. I hope nobody asks me, Jack Benny, for my autograph.
What's that name again?
Jack Benny.
Well, nothing happened. Let's eat.
There's Chilius, the head waiter over there. Maybe he can...
Say, Jack, isn't that Eddie Cantor in that front booth?
Where? Oh, yeah, that is Eddie. Yeah, I hope I look as good as he does when I'm his age. Yes, sir.
See, I just thought of something, Jack. Eddie's got a house in Palm Springs. Maybe you can rent it from him.
Rent Cantor's house? What do you mean rent it? He's a friend of mine. He'll give it to me. Let's sit with him. Hello, Eddie. How are you?
Well, Jack, Mary, come on, sit down. Well, Jack, what are you doing in the Derby? Raining outside, huh?
No. It was Mary's idea.
I haven't seen you in a long time, Jack. You look marvelous.
Well, thanks, Eddie. Thanks. I've been pretty sick, you know.
Well, sick or not, I hope I look as good as you do when I'm your age.
Well, how's the family, Eddie? How's Ida and the boys?
Oh, they're all... Boys? What are boys? Jack, my kids are girls. You're thinking of Crosby.
Crosby?
Yeah, remember I burned his house down for you when you were in New York?
Oh, yes, thanks. Well, go ahead and order something to eat, Mary. Incidentally, the peanut butter sandwiches here are delicious.
Incidentally, I'm having a cream turkey.
Incidentally, the cream turkey costs $1.75.
Incidentally, everybody's looking at us.
Let them look.
They're looking.
All right. You can have the cream turkey, Mary. But if I ask you for a kiss on the cab on the way home, don't say what for. See, I'm kind of hungry myself. What are you having there, Eddie? It looks good.
Chicken soup with egg noodles?
Chicken soup with egg noodles, huh? Think I'll have some of that.
Okay, I'll have the waiter bring you a spoon.
No, I mean I'll order some. A bowl for myself.
They haven't got it today. I brought this one from home.
Oh, spoon, waiter, spoon. What for? I want a spoon to eat chicken soup with my friend here.
He brought his own spoon.
Look, I came unprepared. Give me a spoon.
Here you are.
Thanks.
And waiter, bring me an order of cream turkey.
At last, a sale in this booth. I can't believe it.
Fresh guy. Gee, this soup looks good.
Yeah, let's start. 1, 2.
You know, Eddie, I'm sure glad Boy, this is hot. You know, Eddie, I'm sure glad Eddie, would you mind eating with your left hand and putting your right arm around my shoulder? I'm too far from the bowl.
Is this better, Jack? Oh, I'm sorry. My elbow's in your ear.
Yeah, we got to think of something else.
Well, why don't you put your right hand through my left sleeve and then we can both dip at the same time, huh?
No, then we'd have to cut a hole in your coat. Well, that won't work.
Why don't you put the bowl on my head and eat piggyback?
You go and get that cream turkey. I think we're all right now, Eddie. Let's go.
1, 2.
As I was saying, Eddie, I'm sure glad I bumped into you.
By the way, Jack, would you mind breaking a cracker and putting it in the soup?
Sorry, Eddie, but I can't stand crackers in my soup.
Well, break one in anyway and float it over to my side.
Okay. There. Anyway, Eddie, I'm sure glad I bumped into you. You see? The crackers aren't floating. See, they're all on my side.
Well, tip the bowl a little, will you?
Oh, yeah. Get ready, Eddie. Yeah, I can hardly make that. Get ready, Eddie. Forward, soup. Say, Mary, while you're waiting, why don't you get a spoon and join us?
Don't bring guests. It's crowded enough. What do you think, this is the Hollywood Bowl?
Well, it's so delicious, I thought... Whoop, hold it there, Eddie.
What's the matter?
That noodle is mine. Most of it is on my spoon. Now, give me that noodle.
Oh, no, you don't.
Let go of that noodle.
You let go.
What are you laughing at?
You look like two robins with a worm.
Well, I've had enough anyway.
Here's your cream turkey, miss.
Thank you.
Do you want 3 forks with it, or are the boys sitting this one out?
Don't be so smart. Well, I've been trying to say, Eddie, I'm sure glad I bumped into you. You know, I'm going to Palm Springs for a few days, and I thought maybe you'd like to join me. I thought maybe we could get a room together in a hotel.
I don't think I can make it, Jack, but say, I'll tell you what.
What? Tell me what? What?
Well, no, I don't think you'd like it.
Yes, I would. Tell me, what were you going to say?
Well, I happen to have a little house down there.
Yeah.
Why don't you stay there instead of a hotel?
Well, that's darn nice of you, Eddie. What would you charge me for it?
Oh, Jack, we're friends. We've known each other for years. Take the house for nothing.
No, Eddie. Now, wait a minute. No, friendship is friendship. But I don't want to take advantage of it. Now, I insist on paying you for your house.
Take it for nothing, please. I'll feel better.
But, Eddie, I'll feel much better if you charge me something.
No.
Now, come on, cut it. Now, how much do you want for 1 week?
1 week? What is... $300?
$300? Gee, isn't that a big jump from nothing?
Jack, look what you're getting, a tennis court.
I don't like swimming.
And 4 bedrooms.
I've had insomnia for 2 months. Now, Eddie, help me sleep. Cut that price.
All right, you can have the house for $250. How's that?
I'm still restless. Look, Eddie, give me the house for nothing. You'll feel better, like you said.
All right, Jack Benny, I'll give you the house for nothing on one condition.
What's that?
Look, there are plenty of hotels in Palm Springs. Don't start a new one, will you, Jack?
Don't worry, I won't. Well, thanks, Eddie.
All right, you're welcome, Jack. So long.
So long. I'll see you later.
That was In the Blue of Evening, sung by Dennis Day. And now, ladies and gentlemen, to continue with our story of what happened when Jack rented Eddie Cantor's house in Palm Springs.
Ed, you big fat stool pigeon. Tell him everything.
Well, bright and early Tuesday morning, Jack, Mary, Dennis, Phil, and myself were out on Highway 99 hitchhiking our way to Palm Springs. Mary had no trouble stopping a truck.
I use the old Gardner trick, folks.
Yeah.
And before many hours had passed, we had arrived at the springs and were hiding in the bushes in front of Cantor's house. It seems that Jack thought it would be a...
Now, listen, everybody. You stay in the bushes here, and I'll go up and ring the doorbell.
What do we have to stay here for, Mr. Benny?
Not so loud, Dennis.
If you think I'm going to spend 5 days in these hollyhocks, you're crazy.
It'll only be for a few minutes. Once I get inside, you can all drop in casually. I don't want the caretaker to tell Cantor that I brought a whole gang with me. After all, you know how cheap he is. How cheap is he, expert? Phil, pull your head down and try to look like a hollyhock.
I look more like a gladiola.
Quiet.
I worry about things.
Dennis! Flowers should be smelled and not heard. Now remember, fellas, when I give the signal, come in casually, you know? Now, let's see. Where's the doorbell? Oh, here it is. We want Cantor. What a ham. Pull your heads down, kids. Here comes somebody. Holy smoke, the house is haunted.
How do you do?
How do you do? Are you the custodian?
I beg your pardon.
I said, are you the caretaker?
No, you didn't. You said, are you the custodian?
Well, custodian and caretaker are identical. They're synonyms. They're synonymous.
You'd save time by ignoring me.
Look, all I want to know is what do you do here?
Eddie Cantor pays me to stay here and keep burglars away.
Burglars? Well, are there many burglars in Palm Springs?
Only me.
Oh, you're kidding. You wouldn't take anything.
I wouldn't take anything. Have you got the correct time, please?
Why, that's strange. I must have left my watch at home.
Silly boy.
Well, look, I'm Jack Benny.
The feeling is mutual.
What do you mean the feeling is mutual?
I don't like you and you don't like me.
Look, I'm Jack Benny. Mr. Cantor said I could use his house this week.
You're Jack Benny?
Yes, I'm Jack Benny.
If I look like you when I reach your age, I shouldn't reach it.
What's that got to do with it? Now, you going to let me in or not?
Yes, come in and bring those hollyhocks with you.
Come on in, kids. Everything's all set. Come on.
And so, ladies and gentlemen, we all took our luggage, went inside the house, and made ourselves comfortable. Jack, of course, took Eddie's room and started to unpack his bag.
Let's see. I got my white flannels and my blazer. My parasol in case it gets too sunny here.
And here's your bathing trunk.
Thank you. Now, where's my... Oh, darn it. Now I won't be able to go in swimming.
What's the matter? Did you forget your muscles?
No, I forgot my water wings.
What's the difference? You couldn't blow them up anyway.
Cut that out.
Hey, Jackson. Cantor's sure got a swell layout here. Look at all those pictures of movie stars on the wall.
That's right, Phil. We're all up there. There's my picture over there.
Where, Mr. Benny?
Right there, above the dresser.
That's Gene Autry's horse.
Oh, yes, the white mane fooled me. Although I gave Cantor a beautiful picture of myself. It must be around here someplace. Oh, Dennis, will you please put my razor and my toothbrush in the bathroom?
Oh, yes, sir.
And Mary, put my cold cream on the dressing table. Will you?
Okay.
Now, where did I put
Oh,
my...
Mr. Benny!
What is it, Dennis?
I found your picture!
I knew he had it around here someplace. Who can that be? I'll get it. Hello?
Hello, Jack. This is Eddie. Are you comfortable? Is everything all right?
Oh, swell. The house is wonderful, Eddie.
I'm glad you like it. By the way, Jack, I had a little talk with Ida, and I told her I'd let you have the house for nothing.
How'd she take it?
When I stopped bouncing, it was $300.
You mean Ida expects me to pay $300 rent?
Yes, and 10 cents for the chicken soup.
Well, all I can say is you're a fine friend.
Well, don't blame me.
Don't blame you. Who's the boss in your family? You or Ida?
I'll call you back. You're standing right here.
But Eddie, argue with her and insist. What are you, a man or a mouse?
I'll have to call you back on that, too.
Okay, I'll send you a check. Goodbye.
Goodbye. I'm sorry about this, Jack, but anyway, have a good time. Ida, stop pushing. I can certainly wish him a good time. Have a good time, Jack.
Keep it. How a woman can make such delicious chicken soup and be so mercenary.
Oh, what do we do, Jack? Go home?
We can't go home. I've stuck for $300, 10 cents, and a wristwatch. Now listen, Mary, and this goes for all of you. You're all chipping in or paying for your rooms here. Phil, you get the big room at the head of the stairs. That'll be $10 a day. And Don,
Yes, Jack.
you get the corner bedroom with cross ventilation. That's $12.50. Dennis, you can sleep on the Davenport for $3.50. Mary, you take Ida's room, and we'll put a sign out front, tourists accommodated. I'll get that $300 back if it's the last thing I do. Well, Eddie, I want to thank you and Bert Gordon, the Mad Russian, for coming over here today. We'll be with you again next Sunday night at the same time. Good night, folks.
The Jack Benny program is written by Bill Morrow and Ed Beloy. The Grape Nuts Flakes program, starring Jack Benny, with Mary Livingston, Phil Harris, Dennis Day, Rochester, and yours truly, Don Wilson.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, as you all know, our dear old master of ceremonies, Jack Benny, lost $50 recently on Rochester's horse, Burnt Cork.
That's right. They pulled the Kentucky Derby right down over my ears.
You always wear a derby that way.
Quiet.
Ever since this disastrous experience, Mr. Benny has been trying and trying to forget, but to no avail.
What do you mean to no avail? I've forgotten the whole thing. When I lose money, that's the end of it.
Go on. You lost your piggy bank when you were just a little baby, and you're still running ads in the Waukegan paper.
What ad?
Lost. One piggy bank on Genesee Street. Finder may keep bank, but owner has sentimental attachment to contents.
Now, Mary.
Please return to Jackie Benny, age 45, Hollywood, California.
That you made up. Go on with the story, Don.
Well, anyway, folks, Rochester returned from Louisville a week ago. But until yesterday afternoon, Jack was unable to get in touch with him.
I should have known he was hiding down on Central Avenue.
So now, without further ado, we would like to take you to one of Central Avenue's delightfully intimate mixed drinkeries. The time late yesterday afternoon. Take it away.
Mississippi Barbecue Palace. Mississippi speaking.
I see. Now, Mississippi, I'm trying to get in touch with Rochester. Rochester Van Jones.
Oh, you mean the man whose horse has caused no end of unbalanced budgets in this vicinity?
I lost plenty on him, too. Now, is Rochester there?
Just a minute, I'll find out. Oh, Rochester. What is it, Sippy? Is that Mr. Benny? Yeah. What did I tell him? Same thing. Okay. Wrong number. Goodbye. You know, Sippy, that was a narrow escape. Yeah. Say, how many days have you been hiding out from Mr. Benny? 4 that I can remember, and 2 that must have been sheer bliss. Say, Sippy, I was supposed to meet Louis Armstrong here. Have you seen him? Old Satchmo? Here he comes now. Off the lazy river where the old mill runs. Well, look here. Hello, Rod. Hello, Sat. Well, where are the gals, Sat? I thought you were going to come loaded. Don't worry, son. I got 2 gals coming over here in a little while that are tall, tan, tantalizing, and tender. Are they good looking? Mine is. Yours is sort of a retread. Now, wait a minute, Sat. I should have the good-looking one. I'm a romantic man. Romantic? You heard me. When I kiss a gal, Cupid just stands there and says, my. I'm torrid. Oh, you dog. Say, Rats, an important thought has just struck me. What are we going to do for money tonight? You know, legal lettuce. Well, Sat, you got money. I had money until that horse of yours demorganthawed me. Well, let me tell you something, Sat. Bert Clark would have won that race if it hadn't been for the back stretch. What happened in the back stretch? He just rolled over on his back and stretched. Well, look, Rochester. We got a hold. They got to get hold of some stuff for tonight, and I got a hunch that those gals going to be hungry. Yeah, well, it looks like I'll have to call him Mr. Benny, my favorite comedian. Oh, you dog, you. Give me that phone, Sippy. Oh, here you are. Thanks. Hello, operator. Give me Crestview 7071. From Natchez to Mobile. What? I can't dial, miss. I got a highball in each hand. From Memphis to St. Joe, wherever the 4 winds blow. Hello? Hello, Mr. Benny?
Well, so it's you.
What happened to you, boss? Where you been?
Where have I been? I've been on the phone for the last 6 days trying to reach you. I called every hot spot on Central Avenue that's got a telephone.
Some of the best ones is primitive.
Rochester, I don't want any flippancies. I want the truth. You've been back from Louisville a week now. Why haven't I heard from you?
Well, last Tuesday I was right up to the door of your house in Beverly Hills ready to work.
Uh-huh.
And just as I was about about to enter, a black cat crossed my path.
I see. Well, couldn't you walk around the cat?
I did and wound up at the Cotton Club.
Oh, well, so much for Tuesday. Now, what happened Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday?
I don't even remember where they happened.
I thought, now look, Rochester, I want you to be at my house first thing tomorrow morning.
Okay, boss, I'll be there.
You better.
By the way, Mr. Benny, a financial predicament has reared its ugly head. I'm in desperate need of, say, about $25.
I see. Well, let me ask you something, Rochester. Why should I give you $25 when I just lost $50 on your horse? Well, come on. Rochester, I want an answer to that question.
It ain't ready yet.
Now, listen, Rochester, I'll give you the money on one condition, that you come over here right now and start to work. The house is a mess.
Okay, I'm on my way, boss. So long.
Goodbye.
Now, listen, Satch, you keep the gals here. I'll run over to see Mr. Bennett, put on the personality, and be back in a half an hour.
Rochester, you forgot to hang up the phone.
Uh-oh.
Oh, Rochester!
Yes, boss!
I heard your conversation.
Don't you believe it?
Get over here. Goodbye.
Satch, I'm in the doghouse.
That's where you belong, you old dog.
Well, I better get over to Mr. Benny's house. So long, Sippy. Good luck, Rochester. Say, Satch, while you're waiting for the gals, why don't you get up there with the band and give out a little jive for the cat?
Okay, I might float on down that old lazy river for a few balls. Let's float, boys.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, 2 hours have elapsed since our last scene. We take you now to Jack Benny's home in Beverly Hills, where he is busy dictating to his secretary. Take it away, Beverly Hills.
However, madam, if you will send me 50 cents in cash or stamps, I will be glad. I like to laugh so quick. I will be glad to send you 1 dozen personally autographed navel oranges, plus 1 large grapefruit with my picture pasted on it. Sign that as usual, your dream man, Jack Benny. Is there any more fan mail, Miss Livingston?
Oh, for heaven's sake, Jack, will you stop with that Miss Livingston? Why don't you call me Mary?
Because every Saturday afternoon you're supposed to be my secretary, and I don't believe in familiarity.
Then why are you sitting on my lap?
Because you don't know how to type. Now, is there any more fan mail?
Yes, here's a letter from a lady in Nobody, Montana.
Nobody. That's North Butte. What's the lady got to say?
Dear Mr. Benny, those oranges you sent me were a little sour. Also your photograph. Also your program last Sunday.
I'll have to spray those oranges. Also my writers. Now, let's see. How will I, Well, it's the big racehorse man again.
Say, Mr. Benny, I made your bed, shined your shoes, and changed the oil on your toupee.
Good.
Can I have that $25 loan now?
Rochester, I'm not giving you any money just because you got a date with a couple of girls tonight.
Oh, I forgot all about them, boss. But tomorrow's Mother's Day, and I want that $25 to buy Mammy a geranium.
A geranium? Well, you should get quite a geranium for $25.
Oh, it ought to be huge.
Well, listen, Mr. Van Jones, the kitchen sink is full of dirty dishes. Now go do them.
I just got a manicure.
I don't care. Do those dishes. Manicure. He thinks he's going out stepping tonight. He's crazy.
But, Jack, it isn't Rochester's fault that you lost money on his horse. That phony fortune teller told you to make the bet.
You mean Princess Korsakoff at the tea room? Give me that phone, Mary. I'm going to call her up and give her a piece of my mind. Oh, darn it. Have you got a nickel, Mary?
Here you are.
Thanks.
A payphone in a private house. That's the darndest thing I ever heard of.
Well, it saves a lot of bookkeeping and sending people bills. I hope the princess doesn't... Hello?
Hello. Anaheim Gypsy Tea Room. Hines speaking.
Where's Anna?
She ain't Hines.
Now cut that out. Thank heaven I won't have to look at him much longer. Listen, I want to speak I'm only kidding. I want to speak to Princess Korsakov, your fortune teller.
She can't come to the phone right now. She got her head caught in a teacup.
Put the princess on the phone, teacup and all. Okay, Blue Eye. I got two of them.
That's right.
Just because I'm a comedian, everybody... Hello?
Hello, Princess Korsakov. I'm hot as a pistol when I look in my crystal talking.
Look, Princess, you gave me some fine advice when you told me to bet on Rochester's horse. According to the radio, the newsreels, and the papers, it came in last.
It couldn't be propaganda.
No, it couldn't. Now, listen, Princess, you're a phony, and from now on, I'm eating at another restaurant.
Who's a phony? I said you'd be president of the Elks, didn't I?
Elks? You said I'd be president of the United States.
There was mayonnaise on my crystal. It works better now.
Oh, well, president of the Elks isn't bad. I'll tell you what, Princess, I'll be over for lunch tomorrow. What's the special?
Leg of lamb with nylon stockings.
Fine, I'll bring a girl. Goodbye, Princess. You know, Mary, Princess Korsakov is a wonderful woman. She says I'm going to be president of the Elks. I'll have to buy a tooth for my watch chain.
Why don't you get a few for your gums while you're at it?
Oh, save that for the program. Say, I don't hear any activity in the kitchen. Oh, Rochester, how are you coming along with the dishes?
Oh, fine, boss. I'm just stacking them up now.
Good. You know, Mary, Princess Korsakov may have her faults, but...
Easy does it.
Easy does it. I bet you broke every dish in the kitchen.
No, I didn't, boss. The soup tureen is okay.
Thank heaven.
Of course, it's going to leak a little now.
Rochester, those dishes are coming out of your next week's salary. Now go upstairs and press my blue suit. I'm going out with the boys tonight.
Yes, sir.
Hey, where do you fellas go every Saturday night?
We have a bowling team. It's a lot of fun and good exercise. Well, here's Dennis now. Hello, kid.
Hello, Mr. Benny.
Hiya, Dennis.
Fine, Miss Livingston. Say, Mr. Benny, are we going to the you-know-what tonight?
Quiet, kid. Yes, as soon as Don and Phil get here.
Oh, boy, I hope whatchamacallit is still there.
Quiet, kid.
Hey, wait a minute. Where are you fellas going?
Every Saturday night, we go downtown to the burlesque show.
Dennis.
The burlesque show?
Marion Morgan, more curves than the Burma Road.
Dennis, save that whistling for the theater.
Say, Dennis, what's that box you got under your arm?
Oh, you'll laugh.
No, I won't. What is it?
Well, tomorrow is Mother's Day, and Mr. Benny has always been like a mother to me, so I brought him a box of chocolates.
Well.
Mother Benny. So Mother's taking you to the burlesque show tonight, eh, Sonny?
Yeah, isn't she sweet?
Now, Mary, don't spoil it. Dennis gave me a box of chocolates. It was a very sentimental gesture, and I appreciate it. Thanks, Dennis.
You're welcome.
But you know, kid, I haven't always been sweet to you. In fact, once in a while, I'm very mean.
I know. One of the chocolates has a Mickey in it.
A Mickey?
Yeah, it tastes a little like maple nut.
How do you know?
I had one Thursday, and I didn't wake up till this morning.
Oh, well, I'll watch out for maple. Now, speaking of Mother's Day, Dennis, have you got a song that ties into the occasion for the program tomorrow?
Yes, I'm going to sing Little Mother of Mine. Would you like to hear it?
Yes, I would.
I'll sit down at the piano here and make off like an orchestra.
Don't spoil the illusion. Sing, kid. See, this candy looks good. Yes, sir. That song was swell, Dennis. It'll be very good on the program tomorrow.
Thank you.
How do you like the way I played the orchestra?
Oh, you were marvelous. Anyway, kid, that's a great number for Mother's Day.
Speaking of Mother's Day, Jack, I sent Pop a check for $100.
$100 to your father? On Mother's Day?
She'll get it, don't worry.
Oh, yes, your mother's a pretty big woman. She's taller than your father, isn't she?
Only 2 or 3 feet.
Well, that's enough.
Say, boss, that pressure blue suit, how does it look?
Fine. Now take it off and hang it in the closet.
Okay.
You always have to model everything. What a guy.
Uh-oh, 8:30. Can I have that $25 now, boss? I got to get down to Central Avenue and buy that geranium for my mother.
$25 for a geranium. Now, let's analyze this. How could you possibly pay $25 for a geranium?
I got a florist that takes advantage of me.
Oh, you have to go to him. Now, go take that suit off.
Yes, sir.
You know, Mary, if Rochester would only come right out and say that he wants $25 to entertain a couple of girls, it would be different.
You mean you'd give him the money?
No, but he wouldn't be lying to me. That's different enough for me, you know. Well, it's Don and Phil. Hiya, fellas.
Hello, everybody.
Hiya, gang. Say, Mary, I'm sorry you can't come along with us. Us guys are going, we're going bowling.
She knows. Dennis had to spill the beans.
I didn't have to do it. I'm just stupid.
You said it. Say, Phil, did you have any trouble getting out of the house tonight?
Nah, it was easy. But you'll notice I got a club foot.
Well, of course, that kills my next line entirely, you know? My next line is, but then you've only been wearing shoes since your band started playing indoors. I love when they ad-lib. My next line means nothing, you know? Phil, now I want to show you the difference in the joke. Phil, do the original line.
Okay. Where are you going to start? Up the
I
top?
say, Phil, didn't you have any trouble getting out of the house tonight?
Nah, it was easy, but you'll notice I haven't got any shoes on.
Oh, yes, but then you've only been wearing shoes since your band started playing indoors. See the difference, folks? Phil, why didn't you tell Alice you were going to a concert or something?
Oh, it's all right with her if I go out with you guys. I bought her a beautiful pair of mules for Mother's Day.
Oh, bedroom slippers?
No, mules. Jacassas. She's got a victory garden to plow.
Oh, real? Oh, I see. Jacassas.
Yeah, Jacassas.
Oh, real mules, huh? Well, that's, mules. That's a very touching gift.
I named them Jack and Jerk after you.
Thanks. I expected as much. Well, Mary, you'll have to excuse us now. Come on, fellas. Let's go downtown.
Oh, wait a minute. Here comes that silly boarder of yours.
Oh, yes, Mr. Billingsley. Good evening, Mr. Billingsley.
Good evening, Mr. Benny. Stepping out, I see.
Yes. My friends and I are going downtown and bowl.
I was there last night. She's lovely.
Yes, she is. Would you care to ride downtown with us, Mr. Billingsley?
No, thanks. I'm going upstairs and hit the hay.
Going to bed, eh?
No, I'm going to hit the hay. I'm mad at it.
Oh, I see.
Well, good night, Mr. Benny.
Good night.
There's very few of us left.
Going upstairs and hit the hay. I was wondering why he was carrying that shillelagh. Come on, fellas, let's go. Now, Rochester, when I get home tonight, I'll expect you to be here.
But, boss, what about the $25 for my mother's geranium?
Rochester, I know you're not telling the truth. If that $25 was really for your mother, you could...
Uh-oh, I'll get it, boss.
Hello, Rochester. Look here, man. The gals are here. What's keeping you?
Oh. Hello, Mother.
Mother?
How are you, Mother? How you been?
What's the matter with you, Rog? This is Satchmo.
I know. Now concentrate, Mammy. I'll be down in a little while with $25 for those geraniums.
Geranium? Oh, I get it, you dog.
What's that, Nader? Just a minute, I'll find out. Say, Mr. Benny.
What is it, Rochester?
Can I have tonight off? Mother's having a little buffet supper for us children.
Well, I think it might be, give me that phone, Rochester.
But, boss.
Give me that phone. I want to talk to your mother.
But she don't speak English.
Give me that phone.
Okay.
Hello, Mrs. Van Jones. Are you there, Mrs. Van Jones?
Oh, yes, Mr. Benny.
By the way, Mrs. Van Jones.
Yes?
Rochester tells me that you're having a little buffet supper tonight for your children. Are your daughters there yet?
They've just arrived.
Well, tell me, Mrs. Van Jones, are your daughters good looking?
Mine is.
I thought so. Well, I'm letting Rochester off, Satchmo, but you'll have to dig up the $25 yourself. Goodbye. Okay, Rochester, you can have the night off, but don't kid yourself. You didn't fool me, brother. We'll be with you again next Sunday night at the same time. Good night, folks.
Jack Benny program is written by Bill Morrow and Ed Beloy.
The Grape Nuts Flakes program, coming to you from the Marine base at Camp Pendleton, California, and starring Jack Benny with Mary Livingston, Phil Harris, Dennis Day, Rochester, and yours truly, Don Wilson. And now, ladies and gentlemen, from the Marine base at Camp Pendleton, California, we bring you our two-fisted master of ceremonies.
Well,
a man who has been known to chin himself 10 times before he could pull down the handle on a slot machine, Jack Benny.
Wow. Thank you. Hello again. This is Jack Benny, who never played a slot machine in his life, talking. And Don, I may be a little flabby now, but when I was the age of these boys in our audience, I was as tough and physically fit as any one of them. Why, when I was 17 years old, I worked a whole summer at a lumber camp in the North Woods.
A lumber camp in the North Woods? Were you a lumberjack jerk?
What?
I said, were you a lumberjack jerk?
A lumberjack jerk?
Well, I can't say were you a lumberjack jack. It doesn't sound right.
All right, then why don't you say was I a lumberjerk jack?
But jerk, there's no such thing as a lumberjerk.
Look, Don, let's start over. When I was 17 years old, I worked in a lumber camp in the North Woods.
Were you a lumberjack, John?
John, that's better. No, that's better. No, Don, I wasn't.
Well, were you a stripper, a man who hews the bark from the mighty monarchs of the forest?
No, I wasn't, Don.
Well, did you ride the logs down the river and break up jams by sheer brute strength?
No, I didn't, Don. No.
Well, what was your job in the camp?
I used to go around with a needle and remove slivers from the lumberjack's finger. Oh, at the end of the day, I'd be exhausted, you know.
Exhausted from removing slivers?
Well, that wasn't the only job I had, Don. I was also a BBR.
What's that?
A baby bird remover. You see, before any tree could be cut down, I had to climb up on the branches and remove all the little baby birds from the nest.
Oh, I see. Then you'd climb back down the tree with the birds in your arms.
No, I didn't carry them in my arms. You see, Don, just as I got up to the nest, I'd whistle like a mother robin, and all the little birds would jump into the can of worms which I had tied on top of my head. I'll never forget the day I was attacked by an infuriated woodpecker.
A woodpecker? Was she mad?
I think so. She tapped out, "I hate you," in Morse code on the back of my neck. And they have sharp beaks. Oh, hello, Mary.
Hi, Jack, Don. What are you shooting the breeze about?
Shooting the breeze? Well, Mary, I see you're using some marine slang. Where'd you pick it up?
Well, I met a couple of Liberty Hounds who were on the beach at Oceanside. At Oceanside last night, and we all went to a restaurant for a cup of joe with sidearms.
Oh, I get it. You met a couple of Marines on leave and had coffee with them. You know, that lingo is nothing new to me. I used to talk like that when I was a Marine during the First World War.
Oh, pardon me, Jack, but weren't you a sailor during the World War?
Oh, yes.
He was a Marine during the Spanish-American War.
Mary, it so happens that during the Spanish-American War, I was just a bashful kid hiding behind my mother's apron.
But they came and got you, and in you went.
That you're making up, you know. Well, while we're on the subject of Marines, Mary, let me tell you something. If I wasn't 2 years over the age limit, I'd join tomorrow. Of course, 7 weeks in boot camp might be a little tough on me.
7 weeks?
Yeah.
7 minutes in boot camp, and you die with your boots on.
Oh, I could stand it. Say, any man who has spent as much time as I have in the lumber camps in the North Woods has got to be tough.
Oh, go sit in a bird's nest.
I didn't sit in a bird's nest. I rescued the egg. Well, if it isn't the knucklehead kid. Hello, Dennis.
Hello, Mr. Benny. What's all the chin music about?
Chin music? Where'd you get hold of that marine lingo, Dennis?
I know all of it.
You do?
Yeah, get this. Last night I bumped into a couple of Liberty Hounds on the beach at Oceanside, and we bought a bottle of red lead and got cockeyed.
Dennis, red lead happens to be ketchup. Now, how could you get cockeyed on ketchup?
I'm about the only guy I know that can do it.
Oh, boy, what an imagination.
I get a bang out of mustard, too, but it's habit forming.
But it's what, Dennis?
It's habit forming.
Oh. Well, Dennis, before you go on another binge, how about singing a song for the boys?
Okay, but I didn't get a chance to rehearse this morning. The orchestra didn't show up.
Oh, so the orchestra didn't show up. Where's that Phil Harris? Oh, Phil?
Were you calling me, you D.I. headache?
That I don't see here at all. Yes, come on over here, Phil. Come on. Say, Phil, Dennis tells me that you and your orchestra boys didn't show up for rehearsal this morning. Is that right?
Yes, sir. Like Paul Revere said at Bunker Hill, I cannot tell a lie.
Phil, Paul Revere didn't say that. It was George Washington.
Well, you used to knock around with them guys. I got to read about them.
Phil, look, don't evade the issue. Why didn't you and your boys show up for rehearsal this morning?
We didn't hear the bugle.
Now cut that out. I want the truth.
Well, it's like this, Jackson. Me and the boys went down to Tijuana last night on a goodwill mission.
I see. Continue.
Well, it was pretty hot down there, and some of the boys got thirsty. So I said, well, let's go in this drugstore here and get a tall, refreshing glass of water.
Uh-huh.
So I speak a little Spanish myself, you know, so I says to the guy, I said, give us all a glass of tequila. That's water, you know, Bon Aqua.
Water, Phil, for your information, tequila is an intoxicating beverage.
Well, bless my soul.
Now, Phil, what happened after you drank that tequila?
Well, let's see. You know, it's hard to patch this stuff together, Jackson.
Well, concentrate. What happened?
Well, now, let me see. Now, after we left the drugstore, we followed a beautiful Mexican dame to her home, and I sang some songs under her balcony.
Well.
Did you ever get smacked right in the kisser with a tamale?
No, but so much for romance south of the border. Well, let's have your song, Dennis. Oh, by the way, kid, I saw that, Dennis, I saw that movie you just made, Powers Girl, and you were swell. I watched you all through the picture.
Thank you.
Well, that's Benny for you. A picture full of beautiful models, and he can't take his eyes off the tenor.
Quiet. Go ahead and sing, Dennis. That was In My Arms, sung by Dennis Day, and very good, Dennis. I'm sure all the Marines here enjoyed it very much. Now, ladies and gentlemen, for our feature attraction tonight, we are offering a very unusual play. About 200 years ago, on the very site of this Marine base, Camp Pendleton, there was a great Mexican ranch known as the Rancho Santa Margarita. So this evening, we would like to show you what life was like on a typical rancho in those early days. In other words, our sketch will take you back 200 years.
And don't think we haven't got the jokes for it.
You're crabbing everything. Inasmuch as I am the only member, Chuck Reisner won't like it, inasmuch as I am the only member of our cast who speaks Spanish, I will play the part of a wealthy landowner, Don Jose Benet.
I speak Spanish, Mr. Benny.
You do? Now, the part of my daughter...
Si yo conocía una vez, señorita, me enseñó a hablar español y comer enchiladas también.
Yes, sir. Now, the part of my daughter...
What did Dennis say to you, Jack? What's he talking about?
I don't know.
But you said you spoke Spanish.
I speak it, but I don't understand it. Now, the part of my daughter...
Bueno, señor Benny, diga usted algo, estoy ansioso.
Bonus notches, Dennis. Bonus notches.
Now, the part of my daughter, I can't speak Spanish, eh? Now, the part of my daughter, Conchita Rosita Margarita Pepita Benet, will be played by Mary Livingston. Phil Harris will be a Yankee salesman, and Don...
Yes, Jack?
To make the Rancho authentic, you're playing the part of a herd of cattle. So, pin these 500 tails on your pants and let's get going. Huh? Now, this play will be presented immediately after a band number by Phil Harris. How about it, Phil?
Well, I'd like to, Jackson, but we didn't have no chance to rehearse and it'll sound ragged.
What?
You know, it won't be my usual smooth, dreamy style.
Dreamy? Phil, just because people close their eyes when they hear you play, don't let it go to your head. Now, let's have it. Wait a minute, I'll take it. Hello?
Hello, Mr. Benny. This is Rochester.
Now, listen, Rochester, when you left Los Angeles last night, I told you to be here for the program today. Now, where are you?
Well, a friend of mine offered to drive me to Camp Pendleton, but on the way down we got a flat tire.
I see. Between Los Angeles and Camp Pendleton, you had a flat tire. Where are you calling from?
Tijuana.
Tijuana?
Tijuana, come down here, or shall I come up there?
Now, you come up here. Now, let me ask you something, Rochester. In driving from Los Angeles to Camp Pendleton, how could you possibly get to Tijuana, which is 50 miles south of here?
Well...
Well, what?
Well, boss.
Well, boss, what?
Are you well, boss?
Yes, I'm well. Now, Rochester, I want the truth. You went down to Tijuana for a good time, didn't you?
Oh, no, boss. All I had since I've been here is a couple of glasses of buttermilk.
Buttermilk, eh? Are you sure that wasn't tequila you drank?
It could be. My cigars lit at both ends.
I thought so. Now, listen, Rochester, I want you to get right over here to Camp Pendleton. I promise these boys you'll do a song for them.
Okay, I'll be there.
Good. Did you bring your music with you?
It's right on my hip, boss. I wrapped a bottle of buttermilk in it.
Well, see you later. Goodbye. Don't worry, fellas. He'll be here, and I'll have him do a song for you.
Gosh, if he's in Tijuana now, he can't possibly get here in time for the program.
This is radio, kid. Wake up. Bonehead notches. Play, Phil. That was You're Driving Me Crazy, played by Phil Harris and the Orchestra. Now for our play about life on the Rancho 200 years ago. Now remember, Mary, you're going to be my daughter. Phil, you're the Yankee salesman. And Don, you're a herd of cattle.
How many head?
Just one head, Don. Like I told you, 500 tails. All right, let's get going.
What about me, Mr. Benny? Am I going to be in the play?
Oh, yes. Pardon me, kid. Dennis, you're going to be my daughter's sweetheart, Don Deniso Dopo. So here we go to the Rancho Benet. Curtain music. Don Jose Binet. I am one lucky man. I have beautiful daughter, I have beautiful rancho, and 500 head of beautiful cattle. They are so big, so fat. I think I will send them to market soon.
No!
Okay, I wait. Here come my little daughter, Conchita, Rosita, Maquita, Pepita, Lolita, Juanita, Binet.
My papa, Don Jose Benet, with a lousy toupee.
Conchita, my darling, I have good news for you. Tomorrow you marry Don Deniso Dopo, big tortilla man from Tijuana.
But I have never seen this Don Dopo. He's a stranger to me.
After the wedding, you will get acquainted. Don Deniso Dopo make fine husband, Conchita. Marry him, and you will have 5, maybe 10, maybe 15 children.
Boys or girls?
Mix them up! Mix them up!
Mix them up, that's all. Then it is settled. Here comes Don Dopo from the depot. He stopped quick. Come in. Don Dopo, did you have nice trip?
Si.
Come here, Don Dopo. I would like to present to you to my daughter, Conchita, Rosita, Maquita, Pepita, Lolita, Juanita, Patuta, Petita, Patuta, Benet. You like her, yes?
Oh, es, vea. Esperó ansiosa el momento de tenerla en mis brazos.
You understand what he say, Conchita?
Only the whistle.
I must talk with Don Dopo alone, Conchita. So go in kitchen and put kettle on.
But I am already wearing sombrero.
Put kettle on stove, not on head. Now, scramble.
Oh, you mean I should take the powder?
Yes. Now, Don Dopo, we talk business. If you marry my daughter, I give you 50 cow.
Only 50 cow? If I marry Don Pedro Alvarez's daughter, he give me 50 cow and throw in the bowl.
But I am not throwing the bull. I really give you 50 cow. You will marry Conchita, Rosita, Maquita, Pepita, Lolita, Juanita, Benita, Benet tomorrow. And your brother Pancho, he will be best man.
But my brother Pancho is dead. He was killed by a weasel.
How could a man be killed by a little weasel?
He was standing on the track. The train came along and he did not hear the weasel.
That is one big joke. I am laughing.
Even Pancho went to pieces.
Anyway, it is settled. You will marry my daughter tomorrow. Now, if you will help me, I will call her in. Oh, Conchita, Rosita, Maquita, Pepita, Lolita, take it.
Juanita, Anita, Franchita, Carlita, take it.
Tosalita, Belita, Benet. Will you come in here, please?
Were you all calling me all?
We're south of the borders, huh? It is settled, my daughter. Tomorrow we will have wedding, and you will marry Don Dopo.
But I do not love these Dopo. I love Gringo.
What Gringo?
Phil with the curly Harris.
Phil Harris. Last week he mixed up program with ad lib. Yes.
Who is this Gringo? I will kill him.
Be careful, Don Dopo. Phil Harris is one tough hombre. He is big man.
I got no care for him. I no care if he is twice my big and 3 times my heavy. I kill him.
Here he come now, my Americano.
Must be same horse. He is coming into the house. Don Dopo, what are you doing with that knife?
I got hangnail.
My lover, my sweetheart.
Conchita, Rosita, Marquita, Pepita, Lolita, Juanita, Anita, Benita, Francita, Carlita, Belita, Margarita, Benet, I love you.
Who do you love?
I'm not going through that again, sister.
Now listen to me, Gringo. I do not care how much you love my daughter. I have promised her to Don Dopo.
And don't forget those 50 cows.
You will get them.
But, Papa, I love Americano.
I do not care. Listen, Gringo. I give you just 3 to leave this rancho.
Look out, Phil. He's got a gun.
You're on my side. All right, Gringo. I am going to count 3, and if you do not leave, I will shoot. 1, 2. Darn it, I forgot the Spanish word for 3. I don't care. I shoot you anyway. Miss me. Then I will shoot Don Dopo. He's closer.
Miss me too.
Well, I know one thing I cannot miss. Well, see, Don, everybody, we will have steak for dinner. Next week, Gardner Field, California. Good night, folks.
The Grape Nuts Flakes program, coming to you from Gardner Field near Taft, California, and starring Jack Benny, with Mary Livingston, Phil Harris, Dennis Day, Rochester, and yours truly, Don Wilson. And now, ladies and gentlemen, from the recreation hall here at Gardner Field, we bring you that old-time pin-up boy, Jack Benny.
Thank you, thank you. Hello again. This is Jack Benny talking, and Don, you may have meant that as a gag, but I am the pinup boy for thousands of whacks all over the country. What Betty Grable is to the men, I am to the fair sex.
Well, tell me, Jack, what's the most popular picture of you that the girls pin up?
It's a pose of me in bathing trunks, Don, and I have the hair on my chest clipped so it spells welcome. On the way to the photographer's, 4 people stopped and wiped their feet on me. Anyway, Don, here we are at Gardner Field. And if I was in the Air Force, this is where I'd like to be stationed. I mean, the climate here is so cool and refreshing.
Cool?
Yeah.
Why, I stepped outside a few minutes ago and the thermometer said...
Don, That's a military secret, you know.
But these fellows in our audience are all soldiers. Can't we tell them?
No, Don. And stop perspiring. That's a clue. You know, we have to be careful about the information we give out. You know?
Oh, that's right. The enemy have their ears to the ground.
Well, they're laying down all over, if that's what you mean. But one thing about the climate here around Taft, it may be hot in the daytime, but at night you can sleep under 2 blankets. Yes, sir, 2 wool blankets.
And be perfectly comfortable?
Are you kidding? You'll suffocate. But speaking of heat, a fat boy like you must really suffer.
Oh, no, I'm not so fat, Jack. I look stout, but I'm really all muscle.
I see. Well, Don, if your girdle ever gets an 8-hour pass, watch that muscle spread out. In other words, Tubby, that bustle ain't muscle. Look, fellas, a mirage. No, it's really a girl. Hello, Mary.
Hello, Jack. Hi, fellas.
Well, Mary, how do you like it here at Gardner Field?
Oh, fine. Say, Jack, did I hear you bragging to Don about the Wax making you their pinup boy?
That's the truth, Mary. The Wax at Bangor, Maine, have 250 pictures of me on the walls of their barracks.
Well, if they ever get wallpaper, down you come.
Mary, all I asked you was, how do you like it here at Gardner Field? That's all I asked. That's all. That's all I asked.
I told you, fine.
Good.
And you know what, Jack?
What?
I had the biggest thrill this afternoon. I found out my brother was stationed here.
Your brother?
Yeah, and can you imagine? He's only been here 2 weeks, and he's a colonel already.
No kidding. Really, a colonel in 2 weeks?
He must be. When I saw him, he was carrying a long swagger stick with a tassel on the end of it.
That was a mop. A mop. That's all I asked you. That was a mop.
Oh, then that helmet he was swinging on his arm must have been a bucket.
Certainly. Anyway, Mary, it's nice to see a member of your family in the armed forces. What's your brother studying here at Gardner Field?
He's learning to be a gardener.
Now cut that out. Brother a gardener. When he graduates, I'll probably pin a string bean on him instead of wings. Hello, Phil.
Hiya, Jackson. It's a little close in here, fellas. Applaud me and fan the air.
Phil, let me ask you something. Why do you always ask for applause when you make your entrance?
Because applause is food to an actor, and I miss my lunch.
Well, Phil, in the first place, you're not an actor. And in the second place, you haven't had a lunch in 20 years that you didn't have to blow the foam off of.
Say, Phil, I didn't see you on the bus this morning. Where were you?
Well, me and Frankie, my guitar player, drove up yesterday afternoon and spent the night in Taft. You know, we wanted to get a good night's sleep.
Oh. Well, where'd you stay in Taft?
A peaceful little spot called the Fox Hotel.
Wait a minute, Phil. The Fox Hotel in Taft is where most of these cadets go every Saturday night. Must have been plenty noisy.
No, it wasn't, Jackson. Me and Frankie didn't hear a sound.
Phil, look. I live in Los Angeles, over 100 miles away. And many a Saturday night when the wind is in the right direction, I can hear the manager of the Fox Hotel saying, "Please, boys, put the roof back on." You know that. Now tell the truth, Phil. What time did you get to bed?
Well, I looked at my watch and it said 9 o'clock.
9 a.m. or 9 p.m.?
That's the trouble with watches. They don't say.
Well, you and your guitar player must have been in a fine fog there.
Say, Mr. Benny, going back on the bus tonight, is it all right if I...
Oh, hello, Dennis.
Hello. Gee, was that applause for me?
No. Mary, quit straightening your stocking. My goodness, huh?
Say, Mr. Benny, going back on the bus tonight, is it all right?
How do you feel, kid?
Fine, thank you.
Good.
A few minutes ago, I stopped for a drink at a well, and it was awfully greasy.
Well, that was an oil well.
It was?
Yes, you shouldn't have stopped at an oil well for a drink.
You mean because I haven't got a B card?
No, you shouldn't drink oil. No use waiting. I gotta have a talk with that kid.
I wish you would. There are so many things I want to find out.
Never mind.
Say, Mr. Benny.
Yes, Jerk.
Going home on the bus tonight, is it all right if I ride inside with the rest of you?
No, Dennis, the bus is too crowded. You'll have to sit out on the radiator like you did coming up.
Hanging over that motor for 100 miles, that's where I got the oil habit.
You didn't get the habit. You only had one drink.
Oh.
Now, let's have your song, Dennis. What's it going to be?
I'm going to sing a very popular new ballad called You'll Never Know.
That is a good tune.
Say, Jackson, that song happens to be from the motion picture Hello, Frisco, Hello, starring that glamorous blonde, what's her name?
Alice Faye.
Oh, yes. I'll get thumped when I get home.
I hope you do. All right, Dennis, let's have your song. Now, you'll never know how much I love you, sung by Dennis Day, and very good, Dennis. But you know, kid, all these love songs prove just one thing.
What's that, Mr. Benny?
I don't know. They prove how easy it is for a woman to make a man fall in love with her.
Yeah.
You know, kid, it's awful the tricks a woman can play on a man's heart, especially in the moonlight.
Sometimes right out in the sunshine they'll get you.
You said it.
And on a rainy day, holy smoke.
What'd you say, kid?
On a rainy day, holy
smoke. I wanted them to hear that. I didn't want you to talk into the lamp. I tell you, kid, when a woman makes up her mind to get a man, he's a dead duck.
Yeah, lucky we're safe from women, by golly.
What do you mean, we're safe from women?
Well, they haven't got to me yet, and they passed you long ago.
No, they haven't, Dennis. As a matter of fact, I'm the official pin-up boy for the wax. Yes, sir.
A bunch of girls away from home, they miss their fathers, and he takes it the wrong way.
Now, wait a minute. Wait a minute, Mary. I know a top sergeant that's nuts about me. You ought to see the letters she writes. But getting back to the subject, Dennis, as you grow older, kid, you'll find out that in most cases the woman is the aggressor. Don't you think so, Phil?
Well, yes and no.
What do you mean, yes and no?
I don't know what aggressor means.
Aggressor, Phil, means when you're standing on a corner minding your own business, a girl comes along and gives you a lift in her car. She asks you if you have a cigarette. You say, I do, and there's a preacher in the rumble seat. That's aggressor, brother. I'll tell you gotta watch women and their little tricks. And, Phil, the only thing that can follow that is a band number by you and your orchestra. Just think, Phil, this will be the next to the last time we'll be hearing your orchestra this season. One more Sunday and we're off the air.
Only one more broadcast? Say, I better start saving my money.
Start saving your money? Phil, do you mean to say that as long as you've been working for me, you haven't put anything aside?
Not a penny.
Well, for heaven's sake, what are you going to do when you're 80 years old?
I figure I'll just sit around and listen to my skin dry.
Well, that ought to be noisy and exciting. Imagine not saving a penny. Phil, did you ever hear the story about the grasshopper and the ant? All summer long, the ant was busy storing up little particles of food in his house. But the grasshopper, that's you, Twitch, he just jumped around and had a good time.
Where would a grasshopper go for a good time?
The Fox Hotel. Now pay attention. Anyway, all summer, the ant worked and worked and worked, and the grasshopper played and played and played.
This is boring me. I'm going outside for a drink of oil.
Dennis, come back here. And when winter came, Phil, the ant had plenty to eat, but the grasshopper nearly starved to death. Now, Phil, do you get the moral of that story?
Sure, if you're a grasshopper and you want to eat, you better grab yourself a rich old ant.
Well, that's close enough. Get your head out, Phil, and play character. That was Blue Lou, played by Phil Harris and his musical Grasshoppers. And now, ladies and gentlemen, as long as we're here at Gardner Field...
Well, pardon me for interrupting, Jack, but I was talking to Colonel Anderson. He's trying to arrange that parachute jump you spoke about.
Parachute jump?
Certainly, you were talking about it on the bus this morning.
I was talking about making a parachute jump?
Of course, you were showing off for that little blonde who was sitting next to you.
You mean Hortense, the girl who's going up to Napa County to get a job in a winery because her boyfriend, who still owes her $18, has been stepping out with somebody else? I was just making conversation.
Speaking of that blonde, Mr. Benny, I think it was very nice of you to give her the $18 her boyfriend owed her.
When did I give her $18?
She took it out of your pocket when you were fixing the window shade.
Well, I'll be darned. Listen, Dennis, when that girl was removing the bills from my pocket, why didn't you say something?
Well, that's the first time I ever saw you spend any money, and I was fascinated.
Well, that's the worst thing that's ever happened to me.
You going to kill yourself now or wait till the program's over?
Neither one, nah. That $18 coming out of Dennis's salary. He was a spotter, and he didn't report. Anyway, Don, getting back to... I can't understand Hortense doing that. She has such a baby face. Getting back to Colonel Anderson...
Cheer up, Jack. When she's jumping up and down on those grates at the winery, she's liable to slip and sprain her ankle.
That's right. Anyway, Don, getting back to... Of course, she has such beautiful legs. I wouldn't want that to happen. Getting back to Colonel Anderson, thank him very much for his kind offer, but tell him I've already made a parachute jump, and there wouldn't be any thrill in either one. Huh?
Why, Jack, I didn't know you ever bailed out of a plane.
Oh, sure, Don. Last year at March Field, and I wasn't a bit scared.
You weren't scared, eh? Tell Don what really happened.
Now, Mary.
What was it, Mary?
Well, Don, one day last year when we were on the bus to March Field, Jack met a girl who was going to Saboba Hot Springs.
She got my watch, come to think of it.
Anyway, Jack got started bragging and told this girl he was going to Marchfield to make a parachute jump.
Parachute jump, parachute jump.
So I fixed it so we'd get a big transport plane and all go up and watch Jack bail out. There was Phil and Dennis and Rochester was there and myself, and Jack was really scared.
Gosh, I'm dizzy. Look at the ground way down there. Wow.
Jack, will you please come down off that stepladder?
I want to get used to the altitude. I know what I'm doing. Well, Dennis, Phil, put your parachutes on.
We ain't gonna jump, Jackson.
Yes, you are. When I go, everybody goes.
Gosh, I'm scared.
There's nothing to be scared of, Dennis. When I was a test pilot years ago, I used to jump all the time.
Were you a test pilot, Mr. Benny?
Sure.
He used to try out pitchforks in a livery stable.
Well, it was darn tough work. Now, let's see. I wonder if this parachute goes...
What are you doing, Mr. Benny?
Oh, hello, Rochester. Well, Rochester, we're going for a plane ride, and I want you to come along.
Wait a minute, boss. You want me to get in a plane and go up there above those clouds?
Yes, there's one empty seat.
And empty it shall remain.
Now, Rochester, don't be such a baby. Flying is the greatest thing in the world. You show me a man that doesn't want to fly, and I'll show you a man with no imagination.
Dull, ain't I?
But, Rochester, flying is a wonderful experience. It gives you the feeling that you're a bird soaring through the clouds.
Uh-huh.
An eagle gliding over a mountain pass.
Uh-huh.
Rochester, wouldn't you like to have wings?
Only in the biblical sense, and that can wait.
Rochester, I'm not going to argue with you. We're all going up in that plane.
You all, not me all.
Yes, you are. Oh, Lieutenant, is the plane ready?
Right over here, Mr. Benny. And watch that cigar. You'll burn a hole in your parachute.
Oh, a little hole. What can that hurt?
A lot. When your parachute opens up and there's a hole in it, you'll get sunburned on the way down.
Oh, that's right.
Well, what are you waiting for, Jack? Let's get in the plane.
I was wondering, Mary, don't you think it's a little windy to go up today?
If you hadn't been so windy on that bus, you wouldn't have to go up at all. Now, you coming or not?
Okay. Come on, Phil, Dennis.
We're coming.
Well, I'll be darned. Oh, Rochester!
Yes, boss!
What are you doing with that jackrabbit?
I just wanted to borrow his hind leg!
You get in this plane. All right, Lieutenant, we're ready.
Very well. Turn her over!
This isn't so bad. Say, Mary, see the field way down there?
Yeah, it sure looks small, doesn't it?
Yes, sir. Hey, Rochester, look at the ground way, way down there.
I ain't looking till I'm close enough to kiss it.
I never saw such a baby.
Say, Jackson, get a load of them cars on the highway below us. They look like little black dots.
Yeah. Rochester, look down at that highway.
Boss, please!
Open your eyes. Dennis, what's that folder you got there?
Instructions on how to use a parachute.
Oh, have you got them down, Pat?
I think so. I have to jump out of the plane, count to 10, pull the ripcord, and if the chute doesn't open, I got to count all over again. I worry about things like that.
Dennis, believe me, if the chute doesn't open, there's nothing to worry about.
It's different with you. You've led a good, clean life.
Oh, quiet. What a dodo.
Jack, what are you taking that parachute off for?
Because Dennis has made me so aggravated with his silly talk that I'm not going to jump.
Put that back on.
Oh, all right.
My goodness, Jack, you're a bigger coward than Rochester.
I doubt that, Miss Livingston, but thanks just the same.
Say, Lieutenant, how high are we?
5,400 feet.
Okay, stop the plane and let's jump.
Stop the plane?
Certainly. You don't think I'm going to jump out of this plane when it's going 100 miles an hour, do you?
But, Mr. Benny, if we stop the plane, our static equilibrium will be destroyed and we'll fall to the ground.
Sure, it's the law of gravy.
That's gravity, stupid.
He's stupid and you wanted to stop the plane.
Okay. Open the door, Lieutenant. Boy, that air is cold. Well, go ahead, Phil. You and Dennis jump first. And if everything goes all right, I'll take a leap.
Okay, here goes. So long, everybody.
There goes Harris. Look at that chute fly over.
I'll go next. So long, everybody!
There goes the lieutenant.
You're next, Dennis.
Here goes.
Dennis, don't hold your nose. You're not jumping in water.
Okay, so long, everybody. Hello.
Dennis, what are you doing back in the plane?
My suspenders got caught on the doorknob. So long, everybody.
There goes Dennis.
And you're next.
Wait a minute, Mary. I just had a funny idea. Oh, Rochester.
Yes, boss?
Why don't you jump in my place? You know, just for a gag.
Boss, I wouldn't jump out of here if that river down below was straight Kentucky bourbon.
Oh, what a sissy.
Go ahead and jump, Jack. Here, I'll give you a shove.
Mary, stop pushing me.
Let go of that door.
Mary, don't shove me. Whoop.
Now, Jack Benny, you let go of that door sill.
Pull me up. I'm hanging here in the air.
Rochester, hand me that hammer.
Mary, don't you dare hit my fingers with that hammer. Oh, my fingers. Help. Mary, pull me up. Pull me up. Oh, well, here goes. Say, this is fun, floating down like this. I'm glad I brought my Reader's Digest with me. Oh, boy, this is really... That better be my shirt. Play, Phil.
Good night, folks.
The Jack Benny program is written by Bill Morrow and Ed Beloit.
The Grape Nuts Flakes program, starring Jack Benny, with Mary Livingston, Phil Harris, Dennis Day, Rochester, and yours truly, Don Wilson.
And our special guest this evening, Deanna Durbin. And now, ladies and gentlemen, for the last time this season, we bring you a man who for the past 35 weeks has either entertained or bored you with his comedy. A man who many of you will hate to see leave the air, and an equal number will jump for joy.
I don't know why you should be nervous on the last program. I can imagine the first one, yes. Go ahead, Don.
Well, so here he is, folks. A man the whole world is anxious to hear, but on the other hand...
Never mind, Jack Benny. Applause. Heaven's sake. Thank you. Hello again. This is Jack Benny, who thrills or nauseates you, as the case may be, talking. And just think, Don, this is the last time this season you'll be putting your sweet, lovable boss on the pan.
Oh, that's right, Jack. Time certainly flies.
It sure does. What a season we've had. 27,000 miles of travel, playing camps from San Diego to Bangor, Maine. Gosh, Don, I'm so exhausted I can hardly stand up.
You look fine, Jack. You seem to be standing there very firm and upright.
That's the microphone, Don. I'm the wreck that's hanging on to it. I tell you, Don, if I didn't have starch in my underwear, I'd fall right over. What a season.
Well, Jack, we younger members of the cast feel the strain, too.
Wait a minute, Don. What do you mean, you younger members of the cast? I'm not much older than you are.
Oh, you must be, Jack, because I remember when I was just a child in Denver. My mother used to take me to the Orpheum Theater to see you.
Well, Don, that doesn't prove anything. When I started out in vaudeville, I was just a baby. I was a child prodigy.
But you walked out on the stage wearing a tuxedo.
I don't care. There were diapers underneath. And that flask on my hip had a nipple on it. But getting back to our programs this year, Don, we sure have covered a lot of territory. Chicago, Baltimore, New York, Montreal.
Oh, speaking of Montreal, Jack, didn't you borrow $5 from me during our visit there?
Then Ottawa, Toronto, and back to Chicago.
I said, didn't you borrow $5 from me during our visit to Montreal?
Then Camp Custer, Michigan, and finally home again. What a trip.
I said, didn't you borrow $5 from me in Canada?
Yes, and as soon as I get some Canadian money, I'll pay you back. Oh, hello, Mary. Am I glad to see you?
Hello. Say, Jack, what are you yelling at Don for?
Well, in the first place, I didn't like the introduction he gave me. Let me ask you something, Mary. Do I bore people?
Certainly. Who said you didn't?
Nobody said I didn't. He said I did.
Oh. Say, Jack, I bet you're glad we're going off the air tonight. You really look worn out.
I am tired, Mary. Radio is a pretty tough grind.
Well, it's tough for all of us.
That is tougher on me. You don't have to come in till noon on Sundays, but I got to be here at 8 a.m. when the orchestra boys rehearse.
Well, it's your own fault. Why don't you let somebody else sell them coffee and donuts?
Because it's my concession and I can't get a guy to run it. By the way, Mary, after the show, I'll tell you a dozen donuts at a sacrifice. A lot of Phil's boys had hangovers this morning, and all they wanted was coffee. Thank goodness next Sunday I can sleep.
Oh, by the way, Jack, what are you planning on doing this summer?
Well, Don, my doctor advised me to go away for a while where it's quiet and peaceful.
Say, Jack, why don't you go to my uncle's sanitarium?
Oh, has your uncle got a sanitarium?
Yes, it's called Dr. Livingston's Rest Home for jitterbugs who can't quit dancing after the music stops.
I must tell my cousin Boo Boo about that. But I have other plans for the summer, Mary. I'm going to the Low Sierras.
Pardon me, Jack, you mean High Sierras.
I'm going to the Low Sierras.
For heaven's sake, Jack, high means altitude, not price.
Oh.
Then I'll go to the High Sierra. The altitude will be good for me, you know.
Say, Mr. Benny, this being our last program...
Oh, hello, Dennis.
Hello. Say, Mr. Benny, this being our last program...
How do you feel, kid?
Oh, I'm doing as well as can be expected.
What do you mean?
Well, who expects anything of me?
Oh, that's right. Now, what did you want, Dennis?
Well, this being our last program, I thought I'd ask you for the $10 you owe me.
What $10?
The $10 you borrowed from me in Boston. Do you want to pay it?
Well...
You'll have to wait till he gets some Massachusetts money.
You'll have to wait till I remember I borrowed it. Now, Dennis, when did I ask you for that $10?
Don't you remember you wanted to buy a wallet to keep your money in?
Yes.
So I gave you $2 for a wallet and $8 to put in it?
Oh, that's right. I'll give you the 10 later, kid. And now, Dennis, this being the last program of the season... Gee, the last program. Next week, I'll just be walking past the bank. Oh, well.
You can still wave to the president. He's always sitting out in front of the bank in a rocking chair.
Yeah, he used to own a store in Brooklyn. But no kidding, it doesn't seem possible that this is our last show. It is, though. Yes, sir, it's aloha and goodbye. Oh, well, sing, Dennis. That was You Rhyme with Everything That's Beautiful, sung by Dennis Day, who rhymes with work, shirk, and clerk. And now, ladies and gentlemen...
Hey, Mr. Benny, I just thought of something.
What is it?
How come we're going off the air tonight and Fred Allen is staying on the radio for 4 more weeks?
Well, I think I can explain that to you, kid. You see, Fred Allen's sponsor figures that Allen ought to stay on the air until he gets a laugh. And he's got 4 more weeks to prove that he's a comedian. And I've got a hunch that on the last show his pants will come down. There'll be a sign on his underwear saying, "Smile, darn you, smile." I hope that answers your question, kid.
Now, wait a minute, Jackson. Quit panning Fred Allen. If you ask me, I think he's the funniest guy on the air.
Do I hear a voice from the cornfield? What was that you just said, Phil?
I said that Fred Allen's the funniest guy on the air.
Oh, yeah?
And he's a great ad-libber. Many a time I've seen him stand up on the stage and reel off gags without no script.
Without no script, huh? Phil, let me ask you something. When you noticed Allen standing there without any script, did you also notice that he kept his right hand in his coat pocket?
So what?
He's got a joke book there that's printed in Braille. You ever put heavy gloves on that guy, he couldn't open his mouth. Ad-lib comedian. Let me tell you something, there are very few of us left.
Oh, I suppose you're an ad-lib comedian.
Yes, I am.
Go on. You stubbed your toe yesterday, and your writers had to cue you to say ouch.
Ouch has been overdone. I said, gosh ding it. Well, so much for Allen with his baggy eyes. Allen's face looks like a baby kangaroo peeking out of a side pocket. Now, where were we?
Don't forget the special poem I wrote for our last broadcast.
Oh, yes, let's get that over with, too. What's the title of your poem, Mary?
Aloha and goodbye.
You stole that from me. Go ahead and read it. Go ahead. Don't be nervous. Just read the poem. Go ahead. Go ahead, kid. Read it, kid.
I say...
All right, go ahead.
I say aloha and goodbye. I feel so sad that I could cry. We surely hate our show to close, but when you gotta goes, you gotta goes.
Nice rhyming there.
We have traveled near and far. We've traveled by plane. We've traveled by car. And I guess that you have heard, we have even traveled by bird.
By bird?
We took the lark to San Francisco.
train. Go ahead. It's a train. Go ahead. Yeah, see.
We've been in the desert where the heat was so great that it melted the teeth out of Jack's upper plate.
That I don't remember.
We've been in Toronto where it was 20 below, and Jack lost his lowers in a street full of snow.
Oh, so much for my mouth. Is that all?
No, there's one more verse.
Oh, one more.
Yes.
Go ahead.
We'll be back again next fall when the frost is on the pumpkin. We hope that we will please you all, and our program won't be stunk in the air.
Thank you very much.
Well, Deanna, I'm awfully glad you dropped in on us tonight. Gosh, I haven't seen you since you were a little girl working on Eddie Cantor's program.
That was quite a while ago.
Yes, it was. Gee, remember how I used to drop in at rehearsal once in a while and hold you on my knees?
Don't try it now.
Oh, I won't. And here you are on my program. Deanna, do you like working with me as well as you did with Eddie Cantor?
Oh, yes, Jack. Of course, you're much younger than I expected.
I just love this girl. What was that? What was that you said, Deanna?
I said you're much younger than I expected.
Well.
He must have expected Trader Horn.
Oh, be quiet. Oh, by the way, Deanna, you know the members of our cast, don't you? Mary, Phil.
Sure. Hello, Mary.
Hello.
Hiya, Diana.
That's Deanna. He never gets the name right. Look at that. And this is Dennis Day, our singer. Say hello to Miss Durbin, Dennis.
Hello.
Hello, Dennis.
Hello.
Hello, Dennis.
Hello.
Dennis, say something. Get going.
Will you marry me, Miss Durbin?
Not so fast. Don't mind him, Deanna. Huh?
Well, Dennis, that was awfully sweet of you, and I appreciate it very much, but I'm already married.
Gosh, I meet the only girl in the world for me, and she's already the only girl in the world for her husband. I worry about things like that.
Oh, Dennis, for heaven's sake, you'll get another girl.
Not me. I'm going to take poison.
All right. By the way, Deanna, you may not be aware of this, but I nearly played opposite you in your latest picture, Hers to Hold. They were thinking of using me for your leading man.
Well, that's Hollywood for you.
No kidding, Deanna. I really was going to be in the picture, but they picked Joseph Cotton for the part.
Well, someone's got to pick that cotton.
Mary. Cut that out. Well, Deanna, we're all anxious to hear you, Sulky Pants is back. Hello, Don.
Hello, Jack. Say, how about introducing me to Miss Durbin?
Not until you say what I told you to.
All right. Grape Nut Flakes are a good buy. Glad to know you, Miss Durbin.
There. That's that. Now, Don, stop pouting. Pull in those liver lips. They're hanging way out over the audience. And now, Deanna.
Well, liver is hard to get nowadays.
Now, Deanna, we're all ready and anxious to hear your song, so... Oh, darn, that's probably Rochester calling about the party.
What party?
You know what party. I'm giving a farewell dinner for my whole gang and several big movie stars. Gary Cooper, Robert Taylor, Barbara Stanwyck, Claudette Colbert, Rodney Dangerfield, and Stella Buggenhaven.
Who are those last two?
You never heard of Rodney Dangerfield and Stella Buggenhaven? Didn't you see Pangs of Passion for Adults Only? Go to the movies once in a while, sister. I'm coming. Hello?
Hello, Mr. Benny. This is Rochester.
Rochester, how are the arrangements for the party coming along?
Fine, boss. The butcher just delivered the meat, and we got lucky hamburger.
What do you mean, lucky hamburger?
I found a horseshoe in it.
That meat's for Carmichael. For the party tonight, I want you to fry that chicken that's in the refrigerator. It looks very tender.
Oh, it was. It was.
You mean to say you ate that whole chicken?
All but one wing. That got away from me.
Well, then we'll have to serve the hamburger. By the way, Rochester, what about our guests tonight? Have any of the movie stars arrived yet?
Well, Mr. Taylor and Miss Stanley called and said they wouldn't be able to come on account of a headache.
They have one headache between them?
Uh-huh. And Mr. and Mrs. Gary Cooper called, and they were very anxious to find out who you were.
Oh, I see.
Then Miss Claudette Colbert phoned, and she wanted to know if headache had been used yet.
I see. So none of the movie stars are coming, eh?
Oh, yes. Mr. Dangerfield and Miss Buckingham have been here since noon.
What?
They're country folks, boss. To them, dinner is 12 o'clock.
Well, tell them to make themselves at home. See you in a little while, Rochester. Goodbye.
Goodbye. Oh, say, boss.
Now what?
How did those donuts I made go over with the orchestra boys today?
Not very good, Rochester. The holes were a little too big. In fact, Frankie, Phil's guitar player, is wearing one around his head to keep his derby from slipping down.
I see. Well, it's the last show, boss. You can have the last gag. Goodbye.
Goodbye. And now, folks, Miss Deanna Durbin from her Universal picture, Hers to Hold, will present for the first time on the air, Say a Prayer for the Boys Over There, written by Jimmy McHugh and Herb Magnuson. Go ahead, Deanna. And we'll be with you again next fall. I want to thank Deanna Durbin for her gracious appearance here tonight. Also, my appreciation to our listeners for their many years of sharing our program with us. Thanks to my cast and my writers, Bill Morrow and Ed Beloin. Happy summer to everybody. Good night, folks.